Welcome, everybody. My name is Edward Pereira. My co-host and good friend, Attila Hevesi, and our special guest, and we always call him a special guest because when you get a chance to talk to Bill Gates or smarter than Bill Gates with the idea of him being able to tell you how the machine works, that's what Mr. Barsano brings to the table. And if it's your first time here, great. If it's not your first time here, welcome back. We love the repeat offense, joining us every week and then sharing. So we appreciate that. So a little housekeeping is the chat's going to stay open. So anybody that wants to be nice and comment and put some stuff in the chat for each other, that's great. Please do not ask questions. It makes it very, very long for us to be able to chase back and forth. So no questions, please, in the chat if you can refrain. If you want to put them in the chat so other people can see them, and then put them in the Q&A if you want us to address them when we go into the Q&A, that's awesome. That's a double trick so you can share and then you can ask the questions. But please put all of your questions that you want to have answered in the Q&A. So second piece of housekeeping is that everyone's going to get a copy of this the next day. If not, if somehow it misses or goes to spam, then you can always go to Financial Intelligence, the number 4U on YouTube, and you can watch all the replays. But if you've registered, there's a high probability, particularly if you've been here multiple times, high probability you're going to get it in the email. If you don't, again, that's the backup, and I'll post that YouTube channel. Not a problem. And so everybody will get a copy of. And so I'm going to go set some expectations, which is brand new for some of you and is just modified for others. So let me do that, and we'll get busy. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah. I can't speak for everybody, but I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, great. If the two of you can see it from two different countries, then we're all good. So the disclaimer got much, much, much bigger, right? Still says the same thing. You know, you can read it. We're not providing financial, investment, tax, or legal advice, right? Nothing that we say should be construed as that. We as busy and busy and great as the market is getting, go seek financial, investment, tax advice. If you need to bounce it off an attorney, do that. Make sure you have all your assets in place. And if you run into problems, we're building lots of friends in all of these categories. So if you ever need to reach out and go, hey, I want somebody that you use, that you vetted, you can always send us an email, and we'll put the emails in the chat here momentarily. But nothing's guaranteed. You know, it's all market dependent. It depends on your particular personal situation, and whatever you choose to do with this information, feel free. Do it at your own risk. We are not misrepresenting anything. Everything that we show you is as examples for educational, informational purposes only. Good. Everybody good with that? Type in yes in the chat, please. If you have any questions about that, put it in the Q&A. All right. So expectations. Here you go. Much cleaner, much more straightforward, much more streamlined, which gives us more opportunity to address your Q&A at the end. What we're going to do is, we always have this, we're 45 minutes to an hour, so we're going to try and keep the explanation of all the bits and pieces and all the things that you should be excited about this platform down to 45 minutes. It's going to be a deep dive. You're going to get it from all angles, from me, Mr. Barsano, the creator of, and Attila, the $1 billion report that identifies optimal trading opportunities. Brilliant. You're going to see a live demonstration. You're going to see a couple of them, a couple of systems. My simulator and a real live one that's been in action since the platform was created by Mr. Barsano. And then you're going to understand why this represents the only truly set it and forget it trading solution. With that, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Put your seatbelts on. The market is heating up. And I think we can actually say it might be the first time, at least in the beginning, that this platform is seeing a bullish market. With that, Mr. Hevesy, please take it away.
Thank you, Edward. Great intro. And folks, thank you for being here this evening. My name is Attila Hevesy, and my job is to explain a history of how I met Mr. Barsano, why we're all here, and my background. You know, back in 2020, September of 2020, almost exactly 5 years ago, I had a chance to take 2 or 3 hours, have a long talk with a friend. And I realized that, you know, I missed the internet revolution. And I promised myself at that very moment, there was no way I was going to miss this digital money revolution because it's just way too interesting. It's way too lucrative. And it's the future. Literally, it is the future. The entire world of finance globally is changing. And that's encompassing decentralized finance. That's encompassing blockchain, AI, real world assets, crypto, all of that put together and much more. So I dug deep. I've been full-time in this space since then. I have a portfolio put together, but I'm a cash flow guy. So you'll understand in a few minutes what that means, the significance of that. But anyway, how was it that I came across Mr. Barsano for the second time in my life? Well, let me give you a little background. Mr. Barsano spent several years in the Navy. He learned how to program there. And what happened was, after he got out, he had a very interesting couple of years. I believe he did some nuclear engineering. And then he found an opportunity to be hired as one of the first 300 programmers for Microsoft Corporation, right from Bill Gates. Now, folks, this was in the beginning, in their genesis. This is in the mid-'80s when they were going vertical. So he did extremely well there for many years, about 9, retired a young man. And basically, I used to say unfortunately, but it's really very fortunate for the whole world and for all of us on this Zoom this evening, and for those people that already own the trader, that fortunately he, in the year 2000 actually, he got his clock cleaned in the stock market. I mean, he lost a large part of his wealth. And he said 2 things. He said, obviously, this whole game is rigged for the average person. And the second thing he said is they picked on the wrong guy, because I got time, I got all this programming experience. I'm going to level the playing field. And he did. He developed in 2000 the world's very, very first fully robotic, autonomous stock market trader for the average person, for the masses. Not for Wall Street, not for the uber wealthy, not for the accredited investor, for the average person. That had never been done before. So consequently, he started marketing this in 2001, and he did well. But in 2012, when I met him, he hooked up with a marketing team that brought an opportunity to him to market a lot of traders. And they did join forces, and they sold a bunch. I mean, $16 million worth of licenses in 2 years. Now, that's when a friend of mine came to me and said, Attila, how would you like to make money in the stock market with your eyes closed? You don't have to do anything. You just buy a 3-year license. And I was like, can you give me some more details on that? Because I've always wanted to make money from trading, but I'm not a trader. I'm not going to learn. And I'm not a patient guy. So he introduced me to Ed, and he said, yeah, this is how it works. Showed me a little demo. And guess what? I bought it on the spot, used it for many years. It worked great. However, it was pretty cumbersome back then. In other words, it still was set it and forget it once it was programmed, but it was cumbersome to set up. It was 60 to 90 minutes, much more complicated than it is now. And it had about 10 pages with which you could blow yourself up in terms of settings. Now we're down to 1, and you'll hear that from Mr. Barsano soon. But anyway, the bottom line is he did great. He basically removed himself from that partnership. Things were going sideways. So he was quick to act and protect his brand. And he went back to being solo. 2019, sold out to a hedge fund. And then in 2019, he was getting hints from some of the previous owners of that stock trader saying, hey, Ed, maybe you should develop a trader for crypto. And he thought about it. And finally, in the year 2000, he started developing that. He started from scratch, from ground zero, because remember, he had sold the original stock trader to the hedge fund. And guess what? In April of 2021, he launched that robotic autonomous crypto trader with AI. Now, this is where the story takes a little turn. Of March of 2024, just, 17 months ago, I was at my desk, had a little bit of a rough day at the office, so to speak. But remember a few moments ago, I said I was a cash flow guy? Well, I'm sitting there going, okay, I got a good crypto portfolio working for me. That's basically HODL, HODL, hold on for dear life. I'm not touching that. But I like cash flow. My parents always said cash is king. I do believe that's out the window. That's been replaced with, cash is king has been replaced with cash flow is king. So I'm like, how do I get enough cash flow where I just have my crypto make more crypto on itself? And I remembered my friend Ed Barsano, and I said, I'm sure somewhere along the line he developed a trader for crypto. I contacted him, we spoke for 3 hours, and he confirmed my hunch that he did do that, and he launched it in April of 21. And he said, Attila, guess what? This thing, as soon as I turned it on, I realized it was light years ahead of the stock trader, and here's 4 reasons why. Number one, stocks trade 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. This is 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage, folks. Number two, he said, Attila, you know as well as I do, you need extreme volatility to be successful at any kind of trading. No asset class has more volatility than crypto. I said, absolutely right. Number three really, really surprised me. He said, Attila, it's not downloadable software anymore. It's web-based. And I wasn't sure what that meant. So I said, what do you mean? He said, when you buy this license, I could have you trading live in less than 10 minutes. I said, Ed, giddy up, let's get on it. I bought it on the spot. In 8 or 9 minutes, I was connected to Coinbase, trading live with just under 10,000. That blew me away because I remember the old days. It was nothing like that, folks. Trust me. And even then, it was good. Can you imagine an autonomous robotic trader 25 years ago? How amazing that! It's amazing now, but 25 years ago, it was really even more amazing. But folks, the fourth thing that he told me really, really just solidified everything in my mind, because the most important thing to all of you on this Zoom webinar this evening is 2 words: safety and security of your funds. And he said, Attila, I created an API connection. This connects to your own Coinbase or your own Kraken. So guess what? Your money is safe at your exchange. I can't touch it. Folks, that was all I needed to hear to say to Ed. Ed, we got to let the world know about this. I mean, this is unbelievable, because there's 2 things everybody tonight needs to realize. First of all, understand what this man has developed. He has leveled the playing field, like I said a few minutes ago, whereby, and nobody's done this, even up to today, nobody's done this, with 25 years of experience, with AI, with all the real data, the live data, the clean data that goes into the new traders and into the AI, and with truly being set it and forget it. Nobody has been able to, without allowing people, without being an accredited investor, without them knowing anything about trading, without them knowing anything about cryptocurrency, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You could now make money in your sleep. Folks, it's never been done. So Mr. Barsano, thank you for bringing this to the world. It really is a blessing for so many people, and it's only getting better, and we are getting the word out. People are starting to find out about this. Now, the second thing I want everybody to keep at the forefront of your mind is, when we say, you're going to hear this several times, when we say set it and forget it, we really do mean that. There's no screen time necessary for you to be in front of the computer. There's nothing for you to do. Once you buy the license and you go live, you go enjoy your life, you do what you would ordinarily do during the course of the day. This is working in the background on Mr. Barsano's servers. Even if your computer goes down, it doesn't matter, it's still working for you. So with that, Ed, I'm going to introduce you in a moment, but I want everybody to pay attention to something. I'm going to ask my friend Edward to come back on for a moment. Folks, he's going to share something with everybody that he made an adjustment to his paper trading account a little over 120, 125 days ago. I want him to share that. I want you to see the power of this trader. And by the way, full disclosure, this trader does not know if it's trading live or paper trading. It's making the same moves. Okay, so there's no trickery here. So Edward, do you mind doing a screen share with that simulation account that you have and just briefly share with everybody those crazy numbers that this trader has yielded you in about 125 days? That blew my mind when you showed me last week. Now, with the moves in the market since last week, I can't wait to see where your numbers are at. So
they're pretty impressive.
All right.
This shows you the power. It doesn't get any better than this.
Now, hold on. To the best of my memory, last week, well, I don't want to spoil the fun and say where the numbers were. So go ahead. Just bless us with the info.
All right. So there you go. All right. So as Mr. Barsano said, it's been a bit of a good down day. Down is good because it creates inventory. Because as you can see, these little brackets tell how many lots of each one that I have, and those were considerably higher last week and the week before last. But I started with a really round number. I started with $100,000. 2 days from now, it will be 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it shows, and I won't go in detail. Mr. Barsano will go and do that, but it shows profit taken today. It shows profit taken in the last 30 days. It shows, the next line shows since March 25th, 2 days from now will be 4 months. It's taken $34,813.41 in profit.
Can you say that again? Because I don't think I heard you right.
How much did you make?
$34,813.41.
Mamma mia.
It's currently running at an annual return rate of 104.44%. How does it do that? How does it do that? Well, you're gonna find out. So people go, well, how does it do that? And what coins do I choose? Remember, I mentioned in the expectation there's a $1 billion report, what I call a $1 billion report. I think Mr. Barsano is going to allow me to take credit for that. Originally, it was the $1 million report until I started seeing really what the value of it is. We'll show it to you. Mr. Barsano will show it to you. But
I gave it just a boring name like highest trade count report, and then he
change it on the $1 billion report.
Change
it on the website, the $1 billion report. It'll get people's attention. So what I did was I took the highest trade count possibilities that I didn't have to do any research. Mr. Barsano and his team put this together, and it comes out every month. It usually releases on the 3rd or 4th of each month. As the month previous closes, it aggregates all of that data. Mr. Barsano, I am so charged since what's happened in the market in the last 30 days to see the July report in the first week in August. So all I didn't do any research. I went right to the report, picked out of the top 10, 4 that had very high volatility. This thing eats volatility, folks, and that's what you need. You want high trade volumes because every time it trades, based on the default set parameters, it takes a profit in sleep. Sir.
Edward, quick question for you.
Yes.
When you first started this, you decided to put your profits back into the trader for trading, right?
I did.
And then when did you decide to save 100% of your profits? Because there's a number there, 10,520 saved.
Yep, it was 34 days ago. So you can see in the last 30 days, almost 10,000, excuse me. And this number is about $800 higher. So about 34 days ago. So
okay,
it's made.
How about clicking on manage profits?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, this could be manipulated, folks. You could alter this any day, any hour, any month you want. You could save 100% right off the bat. You could go 0% of everything go back in your trader, and then 3 months later say, you know what? I changed my mind. Let me save 50% and let me put 50% back into the trader, kind of like compounding. It's not technically compounding, but it's similar. Okay, go ahead, Ed or Edward.
Yep, no worries. Do you have a comment about this, Ed?
No, the default is 100%. So you
Default is
changed
100%.
zero
Yeah,
for a while there
correct.
when you started.
Correct.
I see.
Yep, for the first just under 3 months, I was telling it to load up and throw it all back in the trader, and thank goodness I did because things have spiked, and you'll understand what that means, and sold off almost all my positions. Right, it's set back a little bit today, and quite frankly, you got 5 positions that it picked up. So somewhere in here, if you just add these up, 9, 15, 19. 5 of those just got picked up today. So when we say down is good because you want a well-seasoned trader, I'm saying really smart words that you're going to want to pay attention to because you can hear them again in context. Thank goodness for down days.
This is great.
Yeah, it's amazing. So there you go. Now, my last comment about this, and yes, I started with $100,000. You can see the account value. You can see all the other values that we talked about, but don't let it scare you because you get people. I don't have $100,000 to start with. Well, look, just do the numbers. If it's 10,000 or 5,000 or 1,000, the numbers change, but the percentage return does not. So don't think you have to have $1 billion to put it in here to take advantage of the $1 billion report. And we'll show you an example at just before we go into the Q&A, and we'll give you some real live examples of what's happened and what not you can expect, but if history repeats itself, then you're going to be very, very pleased. So with that, let me turn it back over to, did we lose Mr. Hevesy? So let me stop sharing. We did. All right, give him a minute to come back on. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, Mr. Barsinister.
Hallelujah, man. I'm sorry I accidentally bumped Attila off there, you know.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Bear with me just a second. I'm going to inject a little bit of humor. And we're going to... It's not paying attention to me. All right.
My goodness, man. Where's Attila, in Hungary now? He travels the world.
He is. Good for him. He'll be back on in a second. Not a problem. All right. In the meantime, I am going to where am I? Okay. Okay. I'm going to share my screen again so everybody can get another laugh. There we go. So I do believe, Mr. Barsinister, I am going to put this on a T-shirt, and I think this is a great avatar for you. but I am, as Attila suggested, I'm going to change it to Fast Eddie Barsinister.
That does look evil.
So I uploaded your picture into AI, and I said, okay, turn this into a.
And that's what AI came up with.
Oh yeah. Well, I came up with a whole bunch of them. It came up with a really mild, meek-mannered, regular guy based on me uploading your photo, and it wasn't sinister enough, so I kept playing with it until this came up. So
Well, I do feel sinister. I feel like what we're doing, it's totally legal. Everybody knows you're allowed to buy something at one price and sell it at a higher price. That's how commerce works. It's worked like that for thousands of years. So we're not violating any laws, but what we're doing is applying proper money management and risk management, and then basically chasing the price all around wherever it goes and forcing them to keep paying us. So it's kind of, nobody ever thought to do that, I don't think, because I've turned the whole market into just free money.
yep.
And that's where I feel like it feels like it's criminal, but nobody can stop it. I'm not violating any laws, It's just, hey, I didn't create the market the way they did it, and it's just free money, and I'm not hurting anybody.
Right.
And there's no loser in the transaction. When you're buying because it's time for your trader says time to buy. And whoever you're buying it from, if they're selling it, that's on them. If they're selling it for a good reason or a bad reason, or if they need their money and they're selling it at a loss, or if they're selling it because it went up and they're selling it at a profit, they're benefiting. That's on the seller. That's his responsibility. If he wants to sell something at whatever price, then that's on him. I'm not going to worry about whether it was a good trade for him or a bad trade. That's on him if he wanted to sell it. Now, in the auto trader, it never sells at a loss. So every transaction it does is beneficial to the trader.
Hey, Ed, I'm back. Sorry, folks, I lost the internet connection here. I don't know what the heck happened, but I want to do something a little bit different with you, Ed, this week. Kind of condense a few things, and it's real simple. I always ask you every week a question about the money management part of the trader, because people have a misconception. They call this thing a bot, which is really incorrect. I know sometimes you're offended at this being referred to as a
Bot just
bot.
sounds so
Yeah, it's so
widgety,
basic,
you know?
right? This is a full money management system, fully robotic, fully autonomous, with some AI in it that gives you many, many advantages. So here's what I'm going to ask you, Ed. Could you do us a favor and explain the money management part of your trader using that amazing
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He
I know
froze up
what
starting
again.
off with the bucket and the well?
We
Because I think
we
the bucket and the well is
we
actually
we lost you for 5 seconds, so repeat the part using the bucket and the well, I believe.
yes.
All
Yes,
right.
if you don't mind, Ed, starting off with the bucket and the well, because my opinion, and so is Edward's, is that the bucket and the well most aptly expresses how the trader's money management system works. And,
Right.
and it's such a great visual. So to
It's a
start
big-
off with that, I think is a benefit.
Okay. Do you mind? Thank you for introducing me and all that. I'm Ed Barsano. I do have a couple notes that usually when you're talking, I like to take a few notes and clarify a few things. I like to start out with that. I got
Please
my
do.
Apple 101 pad here. You know, I'm still old fashioned. I still use pens and paper. First, I want to say thank you to Crypto Casey for letting me speak to her audience.
Yes.
I appreciate that immensely. And everyone, you know, if Casey's listening, you know, everyone that speaks of Casey has nothing but good to say about her. She is so smart, and I completely agree with that. She's intimidatingly smart, I will say. So I just wanted to get that. The next thing about the AI or the software itself, it was downloadable software years ago, right? It was getting too big for the PC, for people's PCs. You know, I mean, this is huge software, and there are a lot of programs that are running that are supporting the software, feeding the software data. And for all that to go over the World Wide Web and running on people's PCs all over the world, some people are on dial-up, you know, or their internet connection is so bad they might as well be on dial-up. And they couldn't, there's no way they could run this new software. So, you know, I moved it. So I put all my servers now in a co-location center. I've got racks of servers where all the auto traders run on there in an intranet. The ecosystem there, everything is flying, just lightning fast. It doesn't have to go over the World Wide Web to do anything. So it's way better, a thousand times better. And because some of these prices are only there for a split second. The auto trader sees it, grabs that money. A coin can go up 18% 1 second for literally a few seconds. The auto trader can sell it right away, and that coin can drop down 18%. Remember, there are thousands of people vying for every trade. And this is what I don't think a lot of people understand. They look at a price on a screen and they go, oh, well, how come I didn't take that profit? It's like that price was there's only one order sitting there with that price on it, and there's 10,000 people wanting to buy it. So that price is going to be gone in a split second. He who gets there first gets it. The next price is going to be a lot higher. So, you know, you can't always get filled at the price you think you want to get filled at. When you're looking at a screen, you go, hey, wait, I saw it. I was up 5%. Why didn't it take it? That was there for a millionth of a second. And there was only one order, one guy. Think of a limit order. When someone puts an order at the broker or at the exchange, it says, I want to sell this coin at this price. They're saying, I want to sell this many shares at that price. It's one order. So the first one out of thousands of people wanting to buy will grab that order. Now it's gone. Now you got to look at what's the next guy willing to sell it at. Is he going to, and it's always going to be at a higher price. So then the auto trader will look and say, well, I don't want to buy that at that price, that high price. So anyways, that's what's going on there. So things don't always, everything isn't what you see on the screens. The actual market numbers are flying around 1,000 times faster. So it's too big for a PC. I saw a picture today of, you may have seen it on Facebook. It had like a huge giant box in 1956. They were loading onto something, maybe putting it on a ship. It's this huge thing, and it was a hard drive, 5 megabit hard drive in 1956 at IBM. It was as big as a house. And now we had all this power, man, and believe me, GoBabyTrade uses it. The robotic traders use the power of the PC. The robotic traders aren't sitting around browsing Facebook and answering emails. Your auto trader's running like the ever-ready bunny rabbit. So the other thing is, even though your auto trader's running on my computers, on the servers, you have full access. You have a screen that you can follow your auto trader on your cell phone. It's just go to the Safari browser. Go to any browser and bring up your trader and look and see how it's all doing. See how it's doing. You could follow it all day on your cell phone or on your PC. But the auto trader's running on the servers where it can run lightning fast. The next thing I wrote here was down days. Down days are good. Down days are critical. We always talk about why down days. You can't have all up days. No more than a grocery store, and here's where I talk real world because the auto trader runs just like real world. There's no mystery here. It's the way we all live anyways. If you're running a 7-Eleven or a grocery store and a Trader Joe's or a Wells or a Whole Foods or Albertsons, Vons, whatever the store, Jewel Food Store, any of those, you have to fill the shelves. You can't just keep selling stuff because all the stuff will come off the shelves. So then at night, what do? They fill the shelves. Some stores do it at night. Some stores have so much, they can only put so much stuff on the shelf. The other day I went and I grabbed 10 cans of the little cans of oysters. Right while the guy was there getting ready to load, the tuna fish and all that, he had all the boxes he was putting on the shelf. And I just grabbed 10 cans off the shelf. There was only 12 cans of oysters, and I took 10 of them. So, you got to be there all day long filling the shelves. Now, you can always tell if the owner of the store is there or not. Because if there are empty shelves, then that means just the workers are there. They don't frankly care because they don't own the store. They don't care if there's an empty shelf. But the owner of the store knows you got to keep inventory on the shelves. Otherwise, if you have no inventory, you have nothing to sell. That's why you have to have down days in the market. Down is good. You can't, if it keeps going up, you have nothing to sell because you're going to sell it, take the profit, and then now you have no inventory. And then the coin jumps 30% higher, you have nothing to sell. Stop and think about it. You need down days. Down days are so critical. I contend that down days are more critical than up days. Because, man, the biggest money you're going to make is when that market crashes, boy. I love a good crash. And, that's where it is. Give me 5 down days in a row. And millions of people, all the buy and holders out there will be panicking. They'll be crying, oh, my account's down. Sell it. And I'm going to tell you, when the big crashes happen like that, the public goes crazy. Millions of people start dumping their shares. They start calling the broker, just get me out. Sell it all, And that's what the wealthy want. Because when you're busy selling like a crazy person at the bottom, the wealthy are fighting with each other to grab those shares. Because that's where the real wealth is. The day-to-day movement in the market, yeah, that's nice spending money. You can live off that, the day-to-day money. But when you want to get rich, you blow it up at the bottom. That's the wealth. That's where the wealth happens. In the 2000 crash, when all those those tech stocks all crashed, and when everybody was just getting margin calls and all, we don't do that anymore. I don't do margin for 25 years. I learned my lesson. We don't even support margin in our software for 25 years. So we're not here to gamble. But the wealthy, man, they loaded up at the bottom of that crash and they got rich beyond belief. And they did it in the 2008 bank crash when they pushed those bank stocks down to $1 and all the little people got out and the rich loaded up at $1 a share. So did I, by the way. And when that market rocketed those coins up $50 we made a fortune. And that's where it's at. Down is good. I can't say that enough.
Well, Mr. Barsano, let
I
me
only
stop
got
you
too
for a
many
second.
things here.
You said something that was a bit jarring, but it makes so much sense. If anybody knows how the trader works, so this is going to go on your T-shirt as well, probably on the back of the Fast Eddie Barsano or Bar Sinister. Is I love a good crash.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh yeah,
so.
that's where the money is, baby. That is really where the money is. When that market's crashing, I'm like, yes, yes, now we're gonna make some money. You know, the Trump Family Trust has billions of dollars of crypto in it. I don't know if all you knew that. I only read it on the internet, so I don't know if it's true. You know, I have to go by. I think they do though, because he's in complete power. He has complete control. He can remove all the regulations holding this crypto market back. And if he is sitting on billions of dollars in crypto, he's going to make billions and billions of dollars. We're all going to get rich too. So that's the beauty of it. So let's see. Down days are good. You got to load the shelves. It's just anytime you think about the trader and you have questions in your mind about what's going on with the market, think if you own a 7-Eleven, what's going on? You got to have a lot of inventory on the shelf. When that school bus, and you've all heard me say it before, when that school bus pulls into that 7-Eleven, you want to have a lot of potato chips on that shelf. You want to have a lot of Butterfingers and, you know, all that
Butterfingers.
monster drinks. You know, when I walk into a store, my wife does the shopping, right? I go with her and I push the cart. I used to just people watch, right? That's what, you know, what is the guy going to do? Stand there pushing the cart, you know? But now I don't do that anymore. Now I company watch. When I walk in, the first thing I look for is I quickly glance at the shelves to see if I see any empty shelves because I like to make sure my theories are correct. There should be no empty shelves. Then I'm always looking for where are the employees? I'm looking for the employees. Where are they at? Ah, there they are filling the shelf. Oh, there's a guy coming from the back with one of those, what are those two-wheel things you put boxes on? Uh,
Oh,
Hand truck, hand
hand
truck.
Yeah,
truck.
like the hand thing. Yeah, the hand truck, you know. He's got all these boxes that he's going to take to the
Dolly.
frozen section. You know, when you go to the store, look at the stuff you buy, the common stuff you buy, like butter chicken. If you go to Trader Joe's, we get the butter. I know my son loves butter chicken. We grab like 5 or 6 of those boxes out of there. The freezer there can only hold, or the cooler can only hold so many. Now, if I'm grabbing 5 or 6 and the next guy's grabbing 5 or 6, it doesn't take long for that thing's empty. So who's in the aisle right there? They got workers filling these things again. Because if you know, if 100 customers walk past an empty shelf, you just lost 100 sales. You never want to do that. And the software's the same way. It makes sure you stay stocked. Because when that coin tries to even move 3% up, you're taking profit. No more free ride for the wealthy, baby. You move these coins, we're taking money. And worse than that, we chase that price wherever it goes. I like to envision a toll booth and chasing the car down the highway. We don't let you get away. Yeah, and as soon as that car pays that toll, the toll booth quickly runs around it and jumps in front of it again and says, you know, kind of like those toll booths in Florida. You know, every 2 minutes you're paying another toll. It's like they got toll booths lined up on that. What is it, the 75 or you got
No,
some.
no, no. There's a turnpike, Florida Turnpike.
All right. I got on that thing one time and I ran out of change. I started driving through them without paying. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't have any more money to give you guys. This is nuts. Every 5 minutes I'm paying another toll. And that's the auto trader. It keeps jumping in front of the price and
That's
forcing, you know,
that's
you keep buying.
that's
We had the
amazing.
winners and losers. So we're just chasing that price around wherever it goes.
You got some great visuals, but I gotta say, you know, you're gonna have to check your diet because I've heard you say Butterfingers and butter chicken. So wait. If I hear another butter, then we're
I
gonna
don't
make.
eat the butter chicken.
Well, we're gonna have to change your nickname to Butter Barsano.
So butter barf. That would be an awful name. Money management with AI. Oh, the well. All right, I'm down to your question, Attila. So that was all. I just wanted to clarify that kind of
All right,
stuff,
great.
just to
Thank you.
kickstart us.
No, that's great stuff.
And now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to talk about. Here's what's going on. If you think about the market, how simple it is, how insultingly simple it is. I used to call it an insult to humanity. And I always looked through in the 90s or all through the 2000 for 20 years. I always looked for competitors. And I used to look over my shoulder and I'm like, where are the competitors? How come I have the only auto trader? I automated E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, MB Trading, TD Ameritrade, just autoshares.com, bond trade, a whole bunch of brokers, Robinhood. I automated all these brokers and I'm like, where are my competitors? I got the only robotic trader in existence and I have no competitors. And I didn't, and the thing is, as the years were going by, my software was getting more advanced and more advanced. And the more you know, the more you can fix. The more tricks you see going on in the market, you can, that's the beauty of programming, is because I can see something going on that's trickery, that's trying to take advantage of the public, and I can put a counter in the software to so that it won't happen. So the software can counter that negative, that scam basically that they're doing. And there are nothing but scams. The whole internet, I mean, the whole crypto market, the stock market, it's just designed to rob the little guy, literally rob. They don't even have a prayer.
Well,
So my
Ed,
software was.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to make sure people caught some of the things that you're saying and how important it is. You're constantly improving the software. So when somebody buys a license, and by the way, if you don't know that, since you're a Crypto Casey fan, there's a discount on the software, and we'll go through that. But people don't understand that in the background, you're constantly every single day analyzing, adding, changing, refining. I have a difficult time really comprehending how much smarter you can make it. Well,
You'd be
you've
surprised.
introduced the AI agents, which get smarter and smarter and smarter every single day, every single trade. But I applaud you, and I want to make sure that the audience knows that you're doing this all the time. Your team is tinkering in the background to make it better and better and better for the benefit of everybody that has the trader, period. Oh, and one of the
No,
most
it's for
amazing
the
things.
it's you got it wrong, you know. I may sound like a nice guy, but it's for the benefit of me. I'm automating these software to make my robotic traders run better and make more money for me. However, I'm just everybody else has helped me create it. All of you guys with your feedback, your constant feedback, with suggestions and stuff over 25 years, we've all worked together to create the robotic trader. So we all share in the fruits of it, the benefits. So, so everything I do in there, I'm benefiting from it, just like you're benefiting from it, and we're all benefiting together. I'm not going to do an improvement that says, oh, if it's Ed Barsano's trader, watch for this scam, but only for me. No, everybody has the same software. We're all basically running the same strategy, even. A handful of people might change the strategy, but as you say, you and Attila are very adamant about it. Do not touch those settings.
Why?
And
Yeah,
because
if you try, I always say if you try and outthink almost 3 million lines of code, be my guest. But why? You've
Well, I
just
mean, if you have a car and you just bought a new car, are you going to go in there with a screwdriver and start messing with the carburetor, changing it's like, why are you doing that? Do you think you're going to make the car run faster? I mean, I don't, why do you want to mess with what ain't broke? Especially, I would never do that because I don't know anything about that car engine. It's not like the old days. Some of you guys my age may remember when you could actually see the engine and the components.
right.
Now you look in there, it's like all I see is the top of something, big plastic thing on top of the engine. It's like where's the carburetor? Is there even a carburetor in this thing? Where's the alternator? Where's the regulator? I mean, where's all this stuff? Where's the distributor? I can't even see anything in there. I'm lucky to be able to put window wash in my car. I probably
Stick,
poured in the wrong tube there.
get
I'm
stick
probably
with
pouring window wash in my radiator. I don't know.
just stick with programming auto traders, and you will be just fine. But you give a great analogy. This machine, this platform you created is like a Lamborghini that never needs tuning because there's always people, you and your team in the engine, making
Yeah,
sure that it runs perfectly.
right.
So with that,
All right. So the important thing about this bucket in the well, the reason Attila was saying what he's saying, how important it is, and that's the reason I created this animation, is because I want you to understand the software. And if you understand what drives, what makes the software profitable and makes it where it could take money for the rest of your life, literally, if you leave it alone, it'll grind out money for the rest of your life, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop you. Literally, free money. If you understand this, then you'll understand why it's the absolute truth. If it was water, think about it. It's not, this isn't trickery here. If it was water, the bucket would have to go all the way to the bottom and get the water and go all the way back up and dump it out. Everybody knows that. It's indisputable. Nobody can argue that. It goes all the way down and gets the water, goes all the way up and gets it out. The bucket can't go halfway and then go back up because it's gonna go back up with no water. It's got to go to the bottom to get the water. It's got to go all the way back up to dump it out. Okay? Those are facts. Now, the crypto market, the beauty is it doesn't have to go all the way down and it doesn't have to go all the way up. I never said buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Just buy it anywhere and sell it at a higher price. Okay? I mean, it's an insult to humanity. And this is the stock market, by the way. This is the crypto market. This is the stock market. This is the market that is out there trading billions and billions and trillions of dollars. And it's the biggest joke I ever saw. It's an insult to humanity. And I've been saying that for years. This is an insult to humanity. Now, the public, I can't fix the public. Because if I go to the internet and try to talk about this stuff, they say, get out of here, scammer. They don't want to hear it. If you say, do you think Bitcoin's going to go to 500,000 by next Sunday? Oh, yeah, you'll get 50 responses to that dumb question. But God forbid, you should try to explain how to really take free money out of the market, and nobody wants to hear it. This is the therapy session for you, for some of you folks that don't realize that. You guys are the therapist and I'm the patient because this is how therapy works. I get to talk, I get to get things off my chest, and you sit there and listen. That's how therapy works. I assume. I've never been to a therapist, but I see it on TV. I think that's how they do it. So let's watch it in action. Oh, look, it just went down, it bought, and then it sold. Wow, real magic. Bought, sold. Wow, I must have a crystal ball. Oh, it went lower. Now hold that loser. Don't worry about that one. We'll come back to him later. But the action is now down here. Follow the price wherever it goes. Chase that thing. Chase that car down the highway with the toll booth. Don't let it get away. I don't care if it's going forward, backward. I am not going to let that price of that coin get away from me because wherever it goes, it's going to keep paying me. Look at all these losers you're holding. 1, 2, 3, and now 4. And then it goes up and you sell this fourth one off. And then, oh, look, we just had an 18% jump. Sold all the inventory that we were holding that we thought was losers. We just sold it all off at a beautiful profit. Isn't life wonderful? I mean, I'm at ease with the market. I have not even looked at my trader in days right now. I'm going to see it in a few minutes when I bring it up on the screen. But I know my auto trader is taking every dollar that market's willing to give it. And that's reality. You can't force the market to give you something. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, just a couple days, yesterday, I think it was. And if you're on here right now, the person I was talking to, never get offended when I talk about you, okay? I won't tell you who you are. But I mean, I'm not really talking about you. I'm just talking about the discussion we had. And in that discussion, you mentioned something. You were saying, well, I think we're coming into the crypto season. I think he said the crypto season is supposed to be starting soon. And, and I think these coins are going to go a lot higher. And I said, hey, stop right there for a second. I'm not sure you heard what you just said. And he's like, what? What did I just say? I was talking to him on my phone, right? And I said, well, I heard you say you think. 3 times you said, I think, and I think. The market doesn't care what you think. So you're throwing me off here because I know the market doesn't care what I think. The market's going to do what the market's going to do. And I'm better off not thinking. Let the auto trader do the thinking. because the auto trader is not even worried about what's going on. The market's the auto trader says wherever that price goes, I'm going. I'm going to follow that price wherever it goes, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. That's the criminal aspect of this whole software that makes it kind of evil, because they can't move the coin. It's the example I gave you about the toll booth. It's like a car comes up and pays the toll, and then the toll booth quickly runs past the car and gets in front of it again. And then if the car goes backwards, the toll booth starts following it. So it can never move 3% forward. It can't go forward. Wherever the car goes, there's always a cell right in front of it. A 3% move, if it was the stock market or the crypto market, it's a 3% move up. So no matter where the price goes, it doesn't matter. That price can drop 70%, 80%, 90%. It doesn't even matter. The name of the game is keep taking money. And that's where that save bucket comes in. The profit saved. That's why the default is save 100%. If you do that, if anybody saves their profits and just let that trader alone for 1 year, you will be amazed the amount of money that is in that save bucket. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to my trader right now. Is that okay, Attila?
Oh, sure,
Because I
sure.
wanted to
Thank you.
point something out here that you said last week.
Yep.
This is my trader, and I started it with a couple 100,000 all the way back in December 19th of 21. And then you said, look at that $942,000 you took. And then I said, what did I say? Do you remember what I
You
said?
said it wasn't. Yeah,
I
yeah, I
said I
do. You
didn't
said,
take that. I said I didn't
yeah,
take that.
yeah. You said it was $2 here, $20 there, $28.
I said, here's what I took. I took $219 there. And if
Yeah.
you scroll down, I took 577 there, 426 there, 201 there. But this is all before, this is all after last week. Before, before the market even started running last week. So let's go down a little further and let's go back a little bit. Oh, here, this is where we were. I said, look at this. I took $25 there. I took $20 there. I took $34 there. I took $13 there. Okay, this is all I see every day. I took $9.93 there. I took $17 there. Then I remember I really laughed. There was a trade down here. Here it is. I took $1.59 there. It's like, I'm sorry, crypto market. There's no free ride for you. You move those coins, this auto trader is going to take it. You want to give me $1? I'll take it. You want to give me $500? You want to give me $284? You want to give me $1,200 in a trade? I'll take whatever you want to give me. It's not up to me to decide how much I'm going to make day by day. I'm not out here forcing it. Do you know how many people send me email and say, I want to make this much every month? It's like, stop. Again, that's not your call. I know you want to make it. I want to make $10,000 a day too. But does it look like I'm going to make it? No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to make my 10,000 a day that I would like to make. I'm going to take whatever the market wants to give me, and that is the auto trader is going to give a guy with $1 million the same percentage return as a guy with $1,000.
Hey Ed, there's a good example of today. Look at your today's profits taken. It's
None,
zero.
none. You know why? Because
Yeah,
if I'm running a 7-Eleven, it's midnight right now, and I'm busy filling the shelves. I'm
that's
busy
right.
filling the shelves. What did I do
Yeah,
while the shelf before I sold it all off the last couple of days, all this inventory sold. Now it's time to refill the shelves. That's how the
yep.
market works. It's just up and down. It's just if I scroll it here and just scroll up, you can see buy days, there's nothing, no money. Sell days, you see profit. And you just go through it. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And this little money, $20, $56, $57, you know what it adds up to? $900,000. That's what it adds up to. A fortune. Free and the whole time I'm out here, I'm like on I don't know. I'm on a natural high because I always say I'm at peace with the world. I mean, I have a Visa card from MasterCard, from Coinbase. You can go to coinbase.com/card. It's not available everywhere. It may not be available in Canada. But at least last I heard. But if you go to coinbase.com/card, you can get a Visa card, and it takes the money right out of your USDC. I use this card everywhere I go. Now, I have other cards that give me 5% cash back, but you know what? Like if I get gas, I get 5% cash back with these other cards. You know why? Because it's kind of like using my money. This one feels like free money. Because this here, $11,000 of free money last month. Can I spend it really going to grocery stores and stuff and buying some gas in my car? I can't even spend the money the market's just giving me for free. And I call it free money. And of course, if we even this right now, this stuff I'm saying right now, there probably half you people out there saying he's a liar. There's no way it could be real. It's fake. He's lying. And if it was real, there'd be no stock market, there'd be no crypto market. If it was real, everybody would already have it. All that stuff, I've heard it for 25 years. I can't fix it. I can't fix the brainwashing that is built into people's DNAs. And, I mean, like animals right now, dogs. They used to be wild dogs, right? 1,000 years ago, maybe, I don't know. But over the years and years and years and years and years, they've domesticated them. That's where we're at now in the market. The people have been so brainwashed their entire life into thinking that you have to risk and gamble and be stressed. And there's so and you need a PhD and you need a finance degree and all this stuff. And it's all lies. And you've been lied to your whole life. And it's because it's just numbers going up and down. And nobody's ever done the money management, the risk management, the stuff that's built into the software to allow it to just take free money for the rest of your life without gambling. Now, the gamble, let's call it a gamble. I'm going to call it a gamble. And here's why I'm going to call it. Some people will make it a gamble. They'll turn this beautiful money machine into a gamble. They'll say, I ran it for a month and it didn't really make that much money. It doesn't work. Or what if the market dropped 50% in that last month? Remember that bucket in the well. What if it just dropped down 50% and I didn't get a chance to take 50% in profits on the wiggles yet? Okay? Then they're going to say, well, that didn't work. And I'm like, leave it alone. Because the market is doing that on purpose to push the coins down just so people like you can dump all your shares at a loss. Like if you started trading Alchemy Pay, ACH, in 2021, you would have bought it for 12 cents. I personally bought it for 12 cents. I took that and I wrote it and the coin and wrote it all the way down to 2.3 to 1.5 cents. Actually, that was its low. That's over a 90% drop in that coin. You thought I would be getting killed. Well, the thing is, this is my open inventory of what's still open. This is how much I'm up or down. I'm down 60 grand, but I've taken $328,951 in profits on the wiggles. They can never take this back from me. If that coin went to zero right now, they could only take that 94,000 away from me. They can't take this 328,000 away because that's profits, and the profits never. I save all my profits, and so I live off of it, and it's just free.
Hey, Ed, can you cover the second most common question we get, as you know, is about the AI? Because out there in the marketplace, for the last 2.5 years, there's been all this stuff about AI bots, regular
AI
bots, trading
this,
bots.
AI that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this might be a good time to explain how your AI kicks in and what it does, because you could show people how some of the profits, like down below, the first two profits on 725 were
look at that one right there. Profit Go reached AI.
AI,
What that means is, see, you notice these other Profit Go reached didn't have AI next to them.
right.
But this one put an AI after it. What that means is the coin was going higher and the software said, I want to take profit. Here's my smart water prop. You bought the coin down here. You may have bought it up higher in a lot of places, all along here. But the bottom one is that you're sitting on, you bought here and the price went higher, and then the software said, I want to take profit now. So the software is the driving force here. The software itself is stalking that market. And it says, I'm up over 3%. I want to take profit now. So the software, before it submits that order, it looks at a couple things. It says, is the price going higher in the last minute or two? Does it look like it's still going higher? That's without the AI even. It says, does it look like it's going higher? And the auto trader can say, well, I'm not going to sell it yet because it's literally minute by minute going higher. Okay. But then the next thing it'll do, it calls AI and says, AI, what do you think? Does it look like it's going to go higher? And the AI is, I'll talk about AI in a minute, what it does, but what it does is it replies back to the software, because the AI is like two-factor authentication. It's constantly throwing numbers, but nobody's looking at those numbers. The software is not going to look at the AI to see if the price is going to go higher until the software is ready to take profit. Doesn't do me any good if I'm underwater and the AI says it's going to go higher. I can't sell it yet and take profit, so it doesn't matter what AI says. Now, if AI, when I'm ready to actually sell it and lock in profit, the AI says, hold on, don't sell it yet, it's going higher. Then the software will hold on and let the price go higher. And then it'll keep calling. Now that it's profitable, the software will keep calling the AI and say, do you think it's going higher? Do you think it's going higher? As soon as that AI says, I don't think it's going to go higher, then the software will go ahead and take the profit. So it lets it run higher. That's the way AI works. AI is not the star of the dish. Those of you who watch cooking shows, you see the Chop Champions. They have that baskets. They open the basket with the ingredients, and they say these ingredients have to be the star of the dish. Those of you who don't watch cooking, you don't know what I'm talking about. But those of you who have been married 44 years know what I'm talking about, because you probably watch cooking shows with your wife. And so they take the ingredients out and they got to make the dish, that they make that ingredient the star of the dish. AI is not the star of the dish. AI is a nice bell and a whistle is what I call it. It's actually, I wrote it, it's external from the auto trader. The software could run 100% perfectly without the AI. The AI gives it extra money when things are moving. If the price is going lower, it'll call another AI, a separate AI, that says, is it going to go lower? Because once it's down 3%, the software wants to buy more, add to the position. But then the AI says, hold on, don't do it yet. It looks like it's going to go lower. Now, if we were to scroll through here and look for, all right, here's AI. All add to position rules pass AI. So AI said, hold on, don't buy it yet. Now, if I go down to another order here, all add to position rules passed, there's no AI at the end. So AI didn't say that it's going to go lower, so the software went ahead and bought it right then. These here, the software said, hold on, or the AI said, hold on, don't buy it yet, it's going lower. And that's what that.
Just to clarify, that's a 95% probability or higher that
it's going to go higher or lower. Right. We ignore it if it's less. If the AI says, I'm 80% sure this price is going to go higher, because sometimes you'll call it, it'll say I'm 20% sure it's going to go higher. Unless it's 95% sure, the auto trader is going to go ahead and do the trade that it was going to do without listening to the AI. We don't, bird in hand. We've all heard the expression. See these expressions that have been passed down generation after generation after generation. A bird in hand's worth two in the bush. We've all heard that. Live by it because it's true. You see that profit. Remember what I said. There's 10,000 people out there. When that coin jumps 12% in a split second, there's 10,000 people out there looking to buy that or to sell and take that profit. There's only one guy out there saying, I'm willing to buy at that price. The next guy that says he's willing to buy, he's going to say, I'll buy it, but at a much lower price. So you got to be fast, got to grab that order. You can't do this stuff visually. You need an auto trader. And an auto trader like this is dedicated to just staring at the prices. All the supporting programs around your auto trader are feeding the auto trader data. So the auto trader itself isn't taking any time to do other stuff. It's only got one job. Look for when to buy, look for when to sell. End of story. It doesn't have to build data that it needs to run. All the other supporting programs do that, for it.
Yeah. Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
even have a
awesome.
graphical interface because writing to screens, those of you programmers know what I'm talking about. Writing to screens is very costly with CPU. The CPU, your computer, the CPU in the computer, to write to that screen is what they call very expensive in terms of CPU usage. The auto trader doesn't have to write to any screens and to do what it's doing, and it doesn't, and writing things to hard drives and retrieving stuff and all that stuff, everything is in memory. It's all just as fast as electricity will go. And I have powerful servers. I mean, they're just crunching those numbers, man, and running like the ever ready bunny rabbit.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah to that. Hey, Ed, we're going to get
Love
into the
it.
Q&A in a minute, but
That
would
fast.
you be would you be so kind to first share with everybody, and even if you didn't share it now, somebody always brings it up in the Q&A, but let's be proactive. Share that $1 billion report and show people that report you upgrade every single 30 days. And it's an amazing report. So just
Sure.
share it with everybody if you
The
would. Yeah.
highest trade count report. You could,
Yes,
it's
sir.
right here. This one here, I
Yep.
call it the highest trade count report. I should put
Yep.
$1 billion report on there. What it does is, all right, think about, again, I'm going to go back to real world. Real world is so important because we all know, I like to talk about what we already know works. Grocery stores work, 7-Elevens work, Quick Mart work, Quick Mart, all these grocery stores, how they do business works. We know it works. We don't have to think about it. We know they're profitable. What do they put on the shelves? Fast moving items. Things they know they're
Mm.
going to sell a lot of. If I want to make $50 a day on ketchup, I can't raise the price of ketchup to $50. What I want to do is be able, because they only make 8 cents per bottle. They sell it for $4, they make 8 cents. They got to sell a lot of ketchup to make a lot of profits, and it adds up. Okay? So you want fast moving items. If you were opening a 7-Eleven today and you sat down with the person that is going to teach you how to do stuff, you're going to sit down and you're going to say, all right, here we have ketchup, or here we have donuts, here we have Monster drinks, here we have Butterfingers, Almond Joys, candy, potato chips. Not the salt-free ones. They don't sell any of that crap in a 7-Eleven. You got to go to Trader Joe's for that and Whole Foods. They want to just load you up with salt. Okay, so they give you all. They say these are the biggest moving items here, but now you're also want to. You kind of have an obligation to society if you have your 7-Eleven, and you have to admit somebody might cut their finger and they need a Band-Aid. I don't want to carry Band-Aids in my stupid 7-Eleven. I'm not going to even sell any of these things. I mean, you're not going to find iodine in a 7-Eleven. And if you did, it would be at the bottom of this list of junky things you could sell in your 7-Eleven that you don't sell very many of. I don't want to, these things don't even move. I don't want them in my auto trader. I don't want stuff that I'm not going to sell, that's not going to move. Like Attila said, cash is king, all right?
Cash
Cash is
flow.
important. It's nice to have a few $1 million in safes, all right? See, you got it there forever. It's just there. Even though it's depreciating in value, the value of the dollar is going down, right? But $1 million is still $1 million. It's nice to have cash. So cash is kind of still king, but really, cash flow is king. Turning inventory, turning inventory. It's like silver dollars. I don't believe in sitting on silver dollars and throwing them in my safe or in my drawer. Because silver, you're waiting for silver to go up in value, but what you're missing is thousands of up and down moves that it's making before it goes all the way up there. And even if it goes up there, you're still not selling it. So then what does it do? It works its way back down again and you haven't sold it. And then what are you holding it for? Your grandkids? What are they going to do with that junk besides go out and sell it right away? They're just going to dump it right away. You want to give your kids an heirloom. Give them a fully funded robotic trader that cranks out money for their life and teach them young how to use it, because that you will have changed their lives forever.
Amen to that.
Millions of people.
Ed, before I give it back to Attila, just a quick comment. David wants you to talk about the store that's right next door to your 7-Eleven, the one where they buy a whole bunch of stuff, put it on the shelf, and then lock the door.
Oh yeah. Yeah, nobody would run a business that way. Here you got two 7-Elevens. This one here, he's got an employee that never wakes up in time and never opens up the door in the morning when the 7-Eleven's supposed to be open. You remember 7-Eleven used to be open from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m., right? That's where I think it got its name, back in the 60s. Okay. Uh-oh, I just aged myself. I'm only 30, guys. Don't get scared. I'm really only 30. Um, all right. But I read a lot of books from the 60s. You remember those good times when we used to have, I almost said we, but they used to have good music that was great all day long. Now you turn on the radio, you got to hunt for the song. It's like I got to go through 25 channels to find a darn song that I like. Whatever happened to the good old days, man? Where's Jim Croce these days? Where's the good music?
He's still
Anyway,
dead.
yeah, I know. That was really sad. He was really, really
It
he
was
was
good.
really great.
Yeah.
Really great. Um, but what was I saying? I don't even
I don't
remember.
know. Attila, get him back on
You
the
get
boat.
it.
All
But
right,
we're
Ed.
all, like I was saying about the silver dollars and all, it's just sitting on it. I mean, I got into a little discussion with a guy on LinkedIn yesterday, and he said, "Well, people have to do what they're comfortable with." And he said, and I'm not knocking the guy, and I'm okay, and I really believe him totally, 100%. What makes you comfortable is what you should do. If you want to be a buy and holder and not even have an auto trader, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that, because to me, if he said he likes to hold a lot of precious metals, just hold them and sit on them. Good for him. I didn't knock him. I said, do what's comfortable. That's cool. You want to be happy in this world, and you should be happy. We're living in, I don't know where everybody else is from, but I'm in America and I'm living in paradise. I got paved roads, I got clean water, I got electricity, I got stores. Any store I walk into is just full of anything you could possibly want. You got Amazon, literally go in there and buy anything you want. And if you don't like it after you look at it, take it down to and send it back. Amazon is so fantastic. I mean, and we return stuff all the time. If I get it, it looks like, that's used, what is this? The box is already open when I got it. It's like, ship it back. Just give it back. You don't even have
Hey,
to
Ed.
package. You don't have to package it. You just bring it back and hand it to UPS, and they just take it
Hey,
and
Ed.
box it back.
Question. Are you going to cover marital advice next?
I will follow. Well, since you brought it up,
No. Ed's the monitor. I mean, Attila's the monitor today.
yeah, really, the monitor here. Yeah, you got to keep me in line, Attila. But let's
All
go
right.
to this $1 million report. It shows the coins that trade the most, that gave you the most closed profitable trades last year. Look at these coins. Some people grab the top 5 right here, and I talk to a lot of people, probably 5 to 10 people a day. Depends on if they're a veteran. If you're a Navy veteran, we'll start talking sea stories. And we could go for 6 hours. On that day, I'm not talking to 10 people. I'm only talking to a few. But a lot of times I talk to a lot of people every day, almost every day. I mean, I talk to a lot of people every day, I should say. But some people grab the top 5 here. Some people, I mean, or, Edward, you cherry picked Sui. I love Sui. Here's why I love these coins. Let's talk about what makes this report so great, how easy it is to read. You can just grab the top ones and you can say, well, that one did 1,846 trades last year. This one here only did 1,396. Okay. But let's look at them, because I've expanded this report I've enhanced it over the months. Number one, you can click on any coin and go to their website and see how they're doing. See what that company does. Without that, what did you have to do? You would have to go to you'd have to go search the internet to find the company. Now I made it real convenient for you. Just click on the link. Tells you what kind of a type it is, what type of a coin. Is it a utility? Utility means it's a real company with a real product that produces stuff. Multi-billion-dollar companies out here. Okay? Some coins are meme coins. Meme. That means they started out as a gimmick, but they may have started doing things along the way that makes them really not necessarily all the way a meme coin. They're not always a joke coin. Pepe's a good example of that. And then you got NFTs, you know, anything related to creating NFTs and, you know, anything related to doing stuff with NFTs, pictures, artwork, that kind of stuff. Okay, so I don't look at any of those personally. All I care about is I'm not here to buy this company. I'm here to exploit the company. I'm here to attach my auto trader to that company and say, now, Mr. SPA, you no longer can go up 3% ever from anywhere without giving me money. I own you now forever. For the rest of my life, for the rest of your existence, your coin cannot go up 3% without giving me money. Every time it tries to go higher, I got inventory to sell and take profit. You try to go lower, I'll buy more. I'm following that price wherever it goes. It's evil. I feel evil. But the other thing is, ignore those of you who are looking at this report. Try to ignore these last 2 months, May and June. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the wealthy knew after the crypto summit in the White House, they knew that they were going to remove all the they outright said it. It wasn't like we were guessing. The guys, those billionaires or billionaires that were in that summit, they actually said it. We are going to remove all the regulations that have been holding this crypto market back for the last 9 years. They actually said that right out there to everybody. Now, I don't know what other people saw in that. I'm like, whoa, that's like, aren't you telling me that isn't this going to be like, isn't like the crypto market just going to take off like wildfire, just like blow right up? But then what did it do? Instead of going straight up, it went straight down. Of course, we've been watching the market for 25 years, so we know what happens there. We saw it in 2008 with the bank stocks when they pushed it to $1, got all the little guys out, big boys loaded up at $1, rocketed the price to $50 a share. They did it in the 2000 crash when they got everybody out of the tech stocks and then rocketed them. Microsoft went from $30 to where it's at now, almost $500. Okay, so we know of the game, how it works. You want to load up at the bottom. So what did they do for the next May and April? They drove May and June, excuse me. They drove these coins down into the ground. They pushed the market down, down, down. So I'm ignoring the number of trades, profitable trades these coins did the last 2 months. So if I ignore that, then I look over to the right at the next ones, April, March, February, January, last December, last November. Let's go backwards. 230 trades in a day. In a month, excuse me. 55 trades in a month. 445 trades. 273, 147, 298. I love you. How can you not love those numbers? Free money. I want that. Man, it's the first product I'm putting in my 7-Eleven spa. I don't care if it tastes like garbage. If I'm selling 1 million of those, I want that, whatever that is. And if I'm going to turn that much inventory, again, I don't want iodine. I went to the store the other day, a couple of weeks ago, to buy some Band-Aids. I cut one of my fingers anyways, and I wanted to put a Band-Aid on it. And I went to 7-Eleven. I could not. There's like there's 3 aisles in this store. How can I not find these Band-Aids? I'm going nuts. I went through every aisle. And I go up to the counter and I say, excuse me, do you even sell Band-Aids in this place? He says, yeah, look right there at the end of that aisle. He points right at it. There was about this one little corner of that aisle had one little shelf with that stuff on it. With Band-Aids on it. I'm like, all right, thank you. They don't even want to carry it, to be honest. They don't sell any of them, hardly any. Somebody made one little spot for it, hard to find.
Yeah,
But
we got to
same thing here. Same thing with all these other top coins. If I ignore the last 2 months, look at the trades. Now, I'm not in love with this one, even though it's number 3. If I ignore these two, if I look here, I'm not liking these numbers. So I'm going to ignore that. I wouldn't do it. This is a good one. The thing is, and here's this one. I don't like this. 49, 34, 52, 25. Ugh, junk. But I get down to Suey and I say, wow, that coin, if I, even with the May's number in it, 78 trades, 80 trades is his lowest, and then everything else is 98 and above. It's like, come on. Beautiful coin, free money. They're just going to keep pumping you money. As long as they keep doing what they've been doing for the last year, I'm home free. And again, I ignore these last 2 months because I know it's being manipulated so the wealthy can load up at the bottom. And I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are saying, Ed, should I, and some of you may relate to this, should I stop my auto trader from trading right now because the market's going down? You know, and I'm like, no, right away. It's like, stop. No, the biggest money you're going to make is what you're buying at the bottom. That is where you're going to get rich. If I go to Coin Market Cap real fast, you know, I got to make my points until I know you try to shut me down, you know. But I want the people to understand what's going on. Look at all that free money. That's a 7-day report. Look at all that free money, all those wiggles, free money. And when it goes, and anytime it reaches like a peak like this up here, I wish this thing would quit popping up on top of it. But like you see this peak right here, everything you bought, if you were left over with any inventory from this bottom drops, you sold it all off. And look at these jumps. Here's a big sharp down, and you down there, and then it jumps up. Or here's another even a bigger sharp down, and then it jumps up. And if I didn't, whenever, anytime it goes up to like up here, anything you bought down in that trench is gone. You go to a high price. Look at this one up here is right on that line, right above the gray line it went to, right there. That means anything before that, below that gray, this gray area, is all sold off. It's free money. I don't know what else to say. So am I sitting on a couple losers? Yeah, something I might have bought up here. But look, I bought that one there. It dropped down to here and it bought again. And then it sold this bottom one off all the way up there. Profit-wise, my trader is, I'm sorry, my screen's not long enough because it's way up there profitable. Way above all this. Because all these profits are just keep stacking on top of each other for the rest of your life. It's like I've changed your life forever. And some people get it and some people don't. And some people go, there's got to be a gimmick. There's got to be a scam. There's something I'm not seeing. I get it. And I feel bad for you. I will say that. And I feel bad for all the people that were buying Bitcoin back 9, 10 years ago, and they were sitting on 10 shares or 20 shares. I talked to people that owned 20 shares of Bitcoin way back then, and they sold it all off while it was real low because all their friends and family said it's a scam. You can go and thank your friends and family for stopping you from being a billionaire right now. You know,
Wow.
like you gotta, at
Wow.
some point, you gotta man up. And I don't mean that like
And woman up.
like yeah, I don't mean like I don't know what you would call a man that down talks women or whatever. I'm not like that. When I say man up, I'm like you need to just start stepping up and saying I am gonna march to my beat. And we all reach that point in our life at some time. I reached it real early. I reached into grammar school and arguing with the teachers over everything. I used to tell them, you're teaching stuff, but you don't know how to apply the stuff you're teaching, especially in that stats class. He was driving me nuts. I'm like, man, you can teach the stuff, but you don't even know what you're teaching because you don't realize the value of what you're saying. Anyway.
Let me just say, let me just interject and say, for those people that missed the call 2 weeks ago, we had Crypto Casey on that particular Zoom. And she actually came out and said, when I first met with Edward and Attila, and they told me about this trader, all that was going off in my head was scam, scam, scam.
Yeah, but she didn't say it like she didn't say it like you just said it. She said scam.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, more emphatically. But anyway, the bottom line is she had to try this for 4 to 5 months for herself first before she even got serious about bringing it to her audience. Now, I will challenge anybody on this Zoom right now to explain to me how this could possibly be a scam if you control your own crypto and your own exchange. You can't. I mean, you can't. There is no response to that. It's impossible for you to get scammed with any platform where you control your own crypto in your own exchange. And that's the and I explained that in the first 20 minutes of the Zoom. So I just wanted to bring that up because you were mentioning a scenario there and Crypto Casey popped in my head, but we are the educational and the support arm for Crypto Casey. And that's why Edward is once again going to put in that link that has the $1,000 discount code, where if you go to GoBabyTrade.com, you're going to pay $44.99 for a 3-year license. But thanks for the good graces of Mr. Barsano, he negotiated a special discount for Crypto Casey's audience. You save $1,000. So Edwards put that in the chat already, I believe. If he hasn't, he's doing it now. And then also we have 2 support emails. One is support@rctmarketingsystems.com. That's for general questions. If you have a question that's very, very technical in nature, you want to go to support@GoBabyTrade.com. Okay. So, Ed, were you finished with your point here, so we could get to the Q&A?
No, I wanted to make a couple more points.
Before
Support.
you do that, let me make one comment about what you said, Attila, just to give you the evolution.
Yeah.
Right? Casey, and you can go watch it. You can go. I posted the financial intelligence for you on YouTube, which is where you can catch all the archives. If not, then just send us a note and we'll send it to you. So Casey went from scam, which she was. We now have a very good personal and professional relationship with her. We love her. We could have chosen anybody, any so-called influencer in this decentralized marketplace to work with. Casey has a great audience, not the largest audience. They're out ones with millions and millions. But here's the difference. Casey cares about her audience. When she started back in 2017 making educational videos, it's because she was trying to figure it out too. And she thought, oh, wait a minute, I figured something out, so why don't I post it? That was the whole evolution of Casey. But let's go to the other end of the spectrum. She just released, if you follow her stuff, if you don't, then please go subscribe to her YouTube channel. She just released last week, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, a YouTube short where she calls it the holy grail of crypto trading.
Oh, that's cool.
So I wanted to make that point. Don't believe us. Look at people posting the comments that own the trader in the chat. Go to Crypto Casey. If this doesn't make any sense to you.
Casey is real. The important thing here is Casey is real.
Yeah, she is real.
I was impressed in 2006 when TD Ameritrade called me out of the blue and said, "Will you connect your auto traders to us?" I'm like, "Why are you calling me? How do you even know I exist? I'm just word of mouth. People don't. How do you even know me?" And his response was, "You're real." I thought that was cool, and I'll carry that with me forever because it's the truth. I am real. I can't help it. Everybody else is out there blowing smoke and trying to gamble and everything.
Right.
And but I know I'm real. And I
That's
put my
right.
money where my mouth is, and I built the infrastructure to this thing. Like I said, I never had any competitors, and I kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I got racks and racks of servers running auto traders for people all over the world. And they're all just cranking out free money almost to me, it's just free money, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop us. We're not violating any laws. And I keep bringing that up because I just feel like, dear Lord, it's just free money. And over the years, it's been more and more getting to that. The software was getting smarter as I was getting smarter and as the AI was getting smarter. So we just kept getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And I kept looking for where are the competitors? Where are the competitors? If you couldn't compete with me in 2001, you ain't never going to compete with me now. Now I'm like NASA here in my computers. It's like I'm so far advanced that I can't imagine anybody catching up now. And then it's not easy to create this, all right? Some people think, well, if it was that easy, everybody would have it. Other people have tried. I have watched people try to do what I've done over the years because I make it look so easy on the screen. And they don't realize there's millions of lines of code here and a lot of supporting programs for it and things that behind the scenes, there's some proprietary stuff here that people just don't that they don't know. Kind of like this level 2 screen here. This you know, the prices. Look at that one right there. You see that 47 shares right there? You look in here when you're looking, see that 47 shares right there? That's fake. They put small orders like that and they say, oh, I'm willing to sell that 47 at this price. But people aren't looking at the shares. When you try to buy 5,000 shares, yeah, you're going to end up paying a lot more than that because you're going to blow through that price and end up paying a higher price. The software interrogates this screen and makes sure that you're not going to get taken advantage of. And see, other people don't do that stuff. They don't even know the level 2 screen exists, most people, and any developers out there. And being able to build that into your auto trader before it even executes a trade to know what the true price is. Most people would just go with the price that they see on the screen. Best bid, best ask. Like right here, ask price, 2.23499. That's not the best price. Depending on how many shares you're trading, that may be far from the best price. Okay.
Yeah, very cool. Mr. Barsano, are you ready to take your jacket off?
Are we going into the Q&A session?
Yes, sir.
All right. I love the Q&A session. I get excited. I'm going to take off my jacket because now I roll up my sleeves and we're going to answer any question anybody ever has because I've heard them all. And I'm here. I'm going to hang this up. It's a very nice jacket. I'm not going to throw it on the floor like I did last week, if you remember.
Well, there's a little disclosure that I have to say before we go into the Q&A for everybody's benefit. You know, we get a lot of great questions, but there's only one question that is very, very difficult for us to answer because it's market dependent, and that is the question of what kind of ROI can I expect from this trader? We can't give you that answer because it depends on the market. Mr. Barsano already showed you where today the trader hasn't taken one profit, but yesterday all it did was take profits all day.
Yeah.
So
today's a beautiful down day. Look at these 6% down, 9.7% down, 8.61% down, 8.9% down. This is gold, baby. This is man. When I turned on the auto trader, the crypto trader in April of 21, and I saw numbers like that, I said, "Holy Toledo, I'm done with stocks, man." After 21 years of just doing the stock market, I turned on the crypto trader. I said, "Oh my God. This is gold. Now I'm home." People even call me and say, well, you know, do you think I should get a stock trader? I'm like, I wouldn't. And I'm all about stocks. I'm good. If you're trading gold and silver in the stock market, GLD or SLV, yeah, put it on 2% moves and let that stock trader take profits forever. You know, instead of sitting on gold and silver, dead money if you're just sitting on it in your drawer. I'd run down to a store right now, you know, those coin stores and dump all that stuff in a minute. And I talk to other people that say that they're doing that too. They're dumping their silver, you know, getting out from under it because they don't. What are you going to do with it anyways? Like I said, you're going to give it to your grandkids. What are they going to do with it? If you can't live on it, what good is money if you can't live on it? This is what I like about this. All the profits the auto trader takes. It's not like, excuse me. It's not like if you're sitting on a coin, like Bitcoin's a perfect example. It's going higher and higher, but yet you're not. Maybe you feel like you're making money because it's going higher and higher. Oh, look, I'm worth this much now. Oh, look, now I'm worth even more. Oh, look, now I'm worth even more. What good is it if you're not living with it? You know, I mean, you can't go buy a car with it because the minute you do that, you're just gonna sell it, and then there went all your money. As opposed to an auto trader that's constantly taking money and throwing it into the save bucket. And then now your account value is going higher and higher and higher and higher. I'm sitting on, you know, that, by the way, just yesterday that was over 1 million. That means the account value of this account literally dropped 22,000 since yesterday in one day. So I ignore it. It doesn't even mean anything. What matters to me is, am I taking money that I can live on, that I can go do whatever I want with, that I can actually, instead of depleting my savings to go do something, See, everybody, when you're going to go out and buy a new car right away, what is the thing you do? You do the math and you go, oh man, do I really want to take, $70,000 out of my, or sometimes 199,000 if you're buying a Range Rover? Do I really want to take that out of my savings? And then my account value, it's going to go down 200,000 and you're going to feel bad, But with an auto trader, the auto trader's making all this money so you can actually go and live your life. You can actually
Yep.
use the money that you're making while your investments continue on.
All great points, Ed. All great points. What I wanted to get to before we ask the first question is, because we can't answer the question that's often asked, what's the ROI? What's the ROI? Again, it's market dependent. However, based on past history, Edward, my business partner there, is gonna show an example, a real good, legitimate example of what somebody could expect based on what's already happened. And then, Edward, feel free to cut those numbers in half. And then, folks, if you want to, you could even cut those half numbers in half, and you'll still see where you're sitting at. So, Edward,
But
do you mind replacing the screen share that Ed's got up there and putting up your screen share on that example you told me about?
Of course, yes.
okay, while he's doing that, I wanted to point out something. The
Yep.
reason we sell 3-year licenses and not monthly subscriptions
Mm-hmm.
is because monthly subscriptions, you're chasing the market. You're trying to say, if the market behaved itself and I really did good in a month, then I'm going to stay on. Otherwise, I'm going to cancel. And it's like, no, it's a long-term game because we can't control what the market does in 1 month. Now, the software is going to take advantage of that month. If it's a bad month, if you call being down 10% in one day, 10% drops. If you call a down market bad, then it's always going to be bad for you because you're going to be living your life miserable every other week because that's what the market does. It goes up and down. It goes down, the little guys get out, the big boys get in, the big boys buy at the bottom. Now it bounces up, they sell it off. Exactly what our auto traders are doing. We're doing what the wealthy are doing. However, they're the ones pushing the prices around, not me, because I don't have enough shares to push the price around. They can actually say, I want to sell. If a guy wants to sell 1 million shares and at a profit, or if he wants to buy 1 million shares, let's put it that way, $1 million worth, he can literally go down. He can say, I want to sell 100,000 shares of this coin at a real low price, way below the current price. And then a bunch of people are going to rush in to try to buy it at that price. That's going to change the price. That's going to change the best price to a real low number. You're going to think the market's crashing, and that's going to cause the prices to go down. Little guys again start feeding the frenzy because they start dumping, and then
Yep.
they really
Okay,
start
Edward.
causing the market to go down. And then the
Right.
big boys load up, and then they push it back up and sell it all off. That's the way it works. Can I make one point about support that you mentioned earlier? It's
Yes.
a very important thing here. I've got about 20 text messages and voice messages on this phone that came in just today. I love talking to people. You guys know it. Some of you, I talk to you for 3 hours. Okay? I love it, but I can't all the time. If you really want quick answers to your support questions, send them to support at GoBabyTrade.com because then you'll get an answer. Otherwise, it's going to take me a while to be able to call everybody back. I love you guys. You know I do. I love Australians. I love your accent. I love that song, I Am Australian, or We Are Australian, or something like that. I love that song. But it's hard for me to get to everybody, and and if you're looking for quick answers, sometimes sending
Well,
it to
again,
my phone
let
isn't
me
good. Because
let me
I
help
can
you.
still call you if you send email to support, but other people can answer you if you send it to support instead of waiting for me to be able to get to the phone. Okay?
Well, let us help you out there, Ed. We already stated it that the general questions, and if you need assistance in going live, for example, we could do a Zoom with you. Just support at rctmarketingsystems.com. It's in the chat. If it's of a real technical nature, then obviously support at gobabytrade.com would be the place to go. That's the distinction.
But I
Okay.
will get to you. I'll get to you eventually. It's just like if you send it today, I'm probably not going to be able to respond to those. I got to go back a couple of days and look at the ones that I missed.
Of course.
And,
Yeah.
you know, to try to get caught up.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
as the
Edward.
market heats up, we get a lot more support questions. And because we get a lot of signups every day, this business is, we get a lot. I mean, I don't know if people realize that. A lot, even from this call right now, a lot of people are on here are going to sign up. And so we try to help the new people just getting on to make sure they get their auto traders in there. Because I think it's great to go live on a beautiful down day. That's a beautiful way to start. You know, buy it low,
Absolutely.
watch it
On a
sell
down day?
tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Edward.
And my
Take it
email
away.
is support@gobabytrade.com.
Just posted it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let me share a couple of examples. All right. First, let me ask you quick questions, rhetorical. Did we deliver on expectations? You saw a deep dive. You see that it's automated. You saw the $1 billion report and how important it is. You saw live demonstrations and why it represents the only true set it and forget it. So we covered all the bases. We're going to cover what Attila brought up. I'm going to give you two examples, and these are for example purposes only. So this slide represents what the trader has been doing performance-wise. Again, for example purposes only.
Then in a bear market.
In a bear market, right? In a 80 plus, 90 plus % bear market, right? So as I said at the beginning, we're starting to move into a bullish market. So all market dependent, all example purpose. But if you were to apply what's happened in the last 4 years, these are the kind of numbers. When Ed says it's a life trader or it's going to take money for life, if I said, give me $1 and every 3 years, I'm going to give you $3, obviously stupidly simple example. How many dollars are you going to give me? For every dollar you give me, I'm going to give you 3 back. Okay. Keep that in mind. Use this for what it's meant to be. So I'll point out everything after the equals is potential opportunity lost. Ed says he talks to people. We talk to people. There are people that think it's a scam, people that don't get it. That's okay. No one is forcing you.
Don't gamble.
Their hands around their neck, around your neck, a gun to your head. You don't have to do this. But let me point out, you guys are not listening to me and staring at the dollars, which is what I want you to do.
Hey, Edward, one thing real quick, though, that I failed to mention is, and this is really important, listen up, folks, this is 20 seconds. Sometimes we get asked, what is this going to cost me? That's the wrong question. The question really should be, what is this going to cost me if I don't buy the license? And that's what Edward is covering right here. So go ahead.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. What I call after the equal sign is lost opportunity. Now, again, this is just based on what it's been doing in a bear market, a 90% down bear market. So I don't know if you can wrap your brain around that, but
the software hasn't even seen a bull market yet.
Nope,
watch
it's
when
just
this
starting to tip its toe in. But look, $5,000, $5,000 over 3 years. I take out your original $5,000 investment, your cost of the software, your lost opportunity, should you choose not to, is $31,000. Net profit. If you renewed your license, you'd be going, oh, wait a second. Okay, hang on a second. After 3 years, can I buy it? What's the license going to cost me? Well, if you listen to Crypto Casey, she said when she was live, I put her on the spot and said, based on the performance of what it's been doing for you, what should this cost? This is not a sales pitch. I'm just telling you what she said. It's a quote. She said $25,000 a year is what it's worth. Easy. So next question we get. Okay, after the first 3 years, is it going to cost me $25,000 a year? No. Mr. Barsano and Mr. Barsano alone, not my decision, not Attila's decision. Mr. Barsano is company's decision. If you buy it at the discount of $1,000 through the Crypto Casey link, and I'll post it again before we finish, at $34.99, you can renew it for life at
every
34.99,
3 years for the
right?
same price.
Every 3 years. So based on that,
Now the price on the website may go up, but not for you.
good
You're
point.
basically grandfathered in at that price because I'm not going to keep it at $34.99 because the infrastructure of this whole operation is starting to get into the millions of expenses.
Great point.
Expensive.
Great point. So 3 years comes, you have to renew it. You're in for another 3 years, right? 320 at the end of that second 3-year period, minus your cost. This got higher because you bought another license or you renewed.
So you're saying, are you saying that 31,500 got, starting the next 3 years, got moved into the 6 year? So then at the end of 6 years, it's jumped to that.
Right. So at the end of 3 years is 31. At the end of the 6 years, it's 320, right? Minus the cost of or not minus your cost, minus what you started with, the same 5,000, plus 2 licenses. Lost opportunity cost on $5,000 after 6 years is $308,000. Now, this gets stupid, right? You're going to renew it again, I'm assuming, right? So then at the end of 9 years, so if you told me 10 years ago, hey, give me $5,000 and I'll give you the potential.
We were only doing stocks 10 years ago, so you wouldn't have got that kind of a return because it was a lot harder. The stocks don't move as much, but the crypto market is gold.
Okay, look.
And the wealthy know it. That's why they're all loading up like crazy. They are looking for, and you can quote me on this, the mother of all paydays. This is going to be the big one, right? Attila, you can talk about money, how it affects money, the banking system.
You can't live 10 lifetimes and have the financial opportunity we all have in this digital money revolution. You could take that to I used to say you could take that to the bank, but you could take that to your exchange. Okay.
Well, you know, this is in our generation, in all my life, this is the big one. You miss this one, you've missed it. If you miss this one, you've missed the only opportunity to become a multi-millionaire, literally almost overnight.
Yes.
Because when this thing blows, these coins, because there's nothing wrong with the crypto market. There's no negative news. Actually, that chart you just saw, what were we looking at just before this screen?
We were looking at your trader, I think, before the screen.
The numbers, I mean, we're at the infancy of something that is going to blow so big that it's going to blow away anything you've seen. I mean, the whole world is going to crypto. They can't stop it. There's no way they can stop what's happening. The train has left. You said once before, the train has left the station.
Train has left the station. People ask me where are we in the crypto market? And I say we're in the dinosaur ages. Watch.
Yes.
So back to the example. You know, this may sound outlandish, but it's not. It's just numbers. As Ed Barsano says, it's just numbers going up and down. But if you told me, and this existed 9 years ago, that at the end of 9 years, or I could put $5,000 in and have the potential. All right. If you think that's way too much, but let me ask you the question. If that were possible, could be less, could be more. I'll show you a less. But is it worth $3.19 a day to automate and put yourself in control of your money? Or would you rather just leave it in the bank and lose 15 to 20% a year because they're paying you 0.01%?
Well, not only are you losing that, but you're losing your opportunity to make wealth. Can I tell you what's the hardest thing for people? The hardest thing for you is like the first year. Watching it take those little bits of profit each day and thinking that, oh, that's all I'm gonna make. It's like, no, that adds up, and the market helps you. The market, I mean, there will be times in the next 3 years where you're gonna see 100% jumps in these prices. I've seen it in all these coins. They'll go up 18% 5 days in a row, stuff like that, or a 30% day, or a 60. I watched Shiba Inu go up 66% one day. The very next day, it went up another 100%. Over the last 4 years, it did that. So we see crazy moves. And, you know, the hardest thing for a millionaire, let me say this. If I'm talking about somebody who's been on the bottom and the top, all right? That first amount of money is hard for you mentally to see it earn. But then once you get it, then you realize this, you can't see my mouse. I was pointing at the 31,500. The next thing that's the most, then once you get that, then that 2,544,000 is laughable, because then you know I'm gonna get there and it's gonna do it. It
Yeah.
is gonna do it. The next million, any millionaire will tell you the hardest money they ever
That's
earned was
right. No, it's well,
the
finish your
first
example so we can get
10,000. The hardest thing a millionaire ever made was the first 10,000. It's like me when I talk about cars. My favorite car, I drive Range Rovers, Jaguars, Mercedes Benzes, BMWs. My favorite car is a 1967 Chevy I had in high school. That was the greatest thing ever, man. I had wheels, baby, and that changed the whole game. No more standing on the corner for Eddie, and it was so cool. And that was the hardest thing for me to achieve, was just getting that first car. That 1967 Chevy was the hardest thing to achieve. Now, millions of dollars are a joke. It's a joke to me now. And I've automated it for everybody. I'm not doing anything you're not doing. There's no secret here. I have no secrets that I'm doing behind the scenes that you're not doing. It's
Right.
the auto trader, and we're all sharing, we're all using the same thing. The thing is, a lot
So,
of people, they're in denial. And I've had people say, I made more money manually trading in the last month than my auto trader did. It's like, yeah, well, it was a straight down month but did you prepare? What did you do with all that money you made in the last month that you think you made so much of? Are you now prepped? Do you have shares that you bought during that 50% drop? Did you accumulate shares along the way, all the way down to that 50% drop? So now when the coin goes back up there, you're going to sell it all off at a profit? See, you gambled and you feel like you did good, but you really didn't prep for anything. You didn't prepare for when the market comes back, you're going to make a killing. The stuff I bought on the way down over the last 4 years, even though I've already made a fortune while it was going down, I'm going to make 10 times that on the way back up, because the auto trader's already prepped me for all that. So it's not
uh,
about how much did I make today. It's how much did the auto trader prep you to make going forward. Money for life. A
right.
life trader.
So now to bring everybody back down to earth.
Back
If that
down,
number
take
is
a
not
drink.
plausible,
Everybody, I want everybody to stop right now and take a drink.
all right,
A moment of silence.
we're gonna have to start sending people smart water. So take a deep breath, Mr. Barsano. If that number is not plausible, and I don't know why, do your own math. It's just simple.
Not even a
So
big
let's
number, to be honest with you. It's not going
so
to. That's
but
not going to change your life. It
well, but
might.
let's break it down to something that
It'll make you comfortable. Your life comfortable. That's for sure.
yep. Let me break it down to half of what the performance has been, right? So look at this. Same theory, same numbers. At the end of 3 years, your opportunity, if you're talking about taking the money out, paying for your trader, your opportunity, if you say no, is $8,376 ish.
That's
And
if you
by
just
the
did
way,
50% a
right,
year.
but by the way, that's only 50%, about half of what the trader's been producing in a down market, right? Okay, so you roll it over. If you made that much money, you're gonna renew your trader. Of course you are. Remember, you give me $1. Every dollar you give me, I'll give you 3. At the end of 6 years, lost opportunity on $5,000. By the way, Mr. Barsano, your bank pays close to that, right? They should just put in the bank. That's it.
No,
Just making sure you're paying attention.
that's
All right,
only
at the end of
that's only. Wait a minute. Fine. That at 50%, all you got to do is make 4.2% a month. That's a joke.
yeah.
That's nothing.
So,
That's
but
pennies.
to
You'll
cement it
do
in
that
people's
standing on your
brain
head.
about
In a reasonable market,
right.
it's going to take a lot of, I mean, it's going to just keep taking profits forever. 58 per, I mean, 100% a year is only 8.5% a month. It's not a lot of money. It's not a
And
lot of
you're
jump. It's not a
yeah.
lot of percentage move.
You say it because you've lived it. I've lived it. Attila's lived it. Those that own the trader live it. But get this, and I've said this before. I worked in the matrix for 32 years. ish in a couple of months. The matrix is built to train you to be broke, period. Go look it up. They want you to be a worker bee to make somebody else millions of dollars. They don't want you to be financially free. Crypto removes the middleman. You get to control your money, and when you connect your trader, you get to control it because nobody else has the keys, right? Let me finish this before you get me wound up and I start jumping off the top of the box. Same scenario. Opportunity lost. That's pretty significant money. Now, if you don't believe that, I don't have another screen, right? But if you cut that in half, where else are you going to get that sort of return? Anywhere else. Anywhere.
Without doing anything. Wait a minute, without doing anything.
Without doing anything, right? and if it's stuck in tangibles, if it's stuck in the bank, if it's in your mattress, you are losing, whether you believe it or not. This is a whole nother lesson. Whether you believe it or not, because of inflation and debasement, which means every time the government prints money, the purchasing power of your dollar goes down. If you leave it sitting still, you're losing 15 to 20% on your money in buying power. And what's money for? To buy stuff, right? So even if you countered that and made 20%, do the math. I don't know what else to tell you, but these are
again, I have a lot that I could tell them.
Well, I know. Relax. We got to get to questions. But again, we give these examples. If you came in with 1,000 or 2,500 or 20,000, do the numbers. It's mind-boggling to think that no one ever told you through your lifetime. I'll be 61. I got a 10-year-old. This provides me, as I always compliment Mr. Barsano, thank you for giving me the opportunity to create a legacy for my children's children, right?
It's cool.
Where else does this exist? And if you still think it's a scam, all right, change the channel. We're giving you factually based stuff. These, obviously, the last two screens are theory, but it's all based on what's happened before, right? The first screen I showed you is what happened. Minimal.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing, Edward. Here's the funny thing. As we say, we can't guarantee anything, and it's all market dependent. It could be less than what you're showing, but here's the thing. Since the trader has never really experienced a bull market, it could be a lot more than what you're showing. So it could go either way. But we really, really, really need to get into the Q&A here. So we're going to do that right now.
Just make one statement, though, first.
Yeah, please keep it short, Ed. Yeah.
All right. It's going to be very, very short.
Okay.
This isn't just for rich people or anything like that. This is an opportunity for anybody to really experience unbelievable great wealth with zero knowledge of the market, with zero knowledge of anything. So if you're I don't care if you're in a job that's paying $2.50 an hour right now, which is what it was when I was younger. I used to get summer jobs and all, paid $2.50 an hour. A janitor, right? Jobs. I don't care what your job is. You can have millions and millions of dollars. That's the exciting thing here is I don't look at Donald Trump and his Mar-a-Lago and all that like he's got so much, right? You think that that's unobtainable. Not true. The crypto market is pure gold. This is it. Man, I'm all in personally. And anybody, it's the software does not discriminate. It doesn't know who you are, it doesn't care who you are. It's just gonna keep cranking out money. It's gonna crank out if you have $500 or you have 5 million or 2 million, because I set the limit in the trader. I got people with multi-million-dollar accounts, multiple accounts. They're cranking out thousands of dollars a day. They're not getting any more trades than you're getting in your trader. The difference is they're putting a lot more money in, so they're buying more at each trade, and therefore they make more per trade. But on a percentage basis, they're not getting a bigger percent than you're getting. So, and I'm watching people. People are selling their businesses, their rental properties, I mean, they're mortgaging their houses, and I'm against that. I put a video on the website that says don't mortgage your house. That kind of stuff. That's gambling, and I don't like that. Especially if you already have your house paid off. I wouldn't risk anything, you know. I'm not saying anything's gonna go wrong, but you know, I just don't condone that gambling aspect of it. But I'm telling you, man, especially young people. A 22-year-old just signed up yesterday. Her grandfather helped her sign up. Thank you, Joe. You know who I'm talking about. And you know, you changed her life. She may not know it yet, but you literally have changed her life, man. Because by the time she's 30, that's 8 years from now, she's gonna be so rich, so loaded. It's crazy. And you've changed her life forever. I love it. Over the last 25 years, when I see young people in the audience, I'm like, thank you. Before they got brainwashed and thinking this whole system is the whole business, the whole stock market's a gamble. It's lots. I'm showing you that it's literally free money when it's done right. And the auto trader does it right. It's all built in.
Yep.
I dedicated the
Awesome.
last 25 years to fine tuning this thing and making it smarter and smarter and smarter over the years. And it's right now, man, this thing, I've got the stock market or the crypto market trapped. They can't move without giving us free money forever. All right,
Amen
that's
to
all I
that.
wanted to
All
say.
right.
Sorry,
So
Thank you.
if
thank you for letting me get on my soapbox.
very good, very good. Yeah, as we roll over into the Q&A, let me remind everybody that's here, everybody that's registered, if you're here or you started and you're not here, don't worry about it. You're gonna get a recording of this. If you want to take advantage of Crypto Casey's discount, I just put it in the chat again. I'll put it
Awesome.
in one more time before we transition out and let everybody go.
Edward, can you email me one thing before I forget? Will you email me a link that I can send folks when they say
Yes.
hey, can you send me a link to join? I always email it to you. I always forward it to
Yep.
you and say, here,
Yep.
can
Yep.
you add them to the webinar? Do you
Yes,
have
of
anything
course.
I could just send directly
Yeah.
to them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's the good news is that we've made it a static ongoing meeting. So when I send you the link, thank you for asking that. We have responded when you send us notes, we get it out straight away. But the link I send you is the same link that everybody can register every week. But we do ask you to register using the same link every single week because that allows us to monitor the traffic. It also allows us to adjust if we've got a bunch of registrations. We have to up the audience allowance on Zoom. So yes, I will.
Because my link is a moderator link, and I don't want to
Right,
send them a moderator
right.
link.
Yeah, don't do that.
Thank you.
Look, I have Apple 2.0, Apple iPad 2.0. So I will
Well, I
send.
like yours. You have the upgraded version. You got that little spinal, that little metal going on. You know, mine's cheap paper.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we can transition into the Q&A. Are you ready? Flex your muscles.
I'm ready.
All right. So, okay, Anthony,
Yeah.
I
Before you
received
go into that, I was asking Edward,
yes.
one thing that I think Lynn was asking whether or not people can buy the trader using crypto. The answer is yes. So when you go and you set up your account and you go to buy now using Crypto Casey's link, there is an option to buy the trader with crypto. Just so you know, it's USDC or several others, I believe, right, Ed?
After you fill out all your information, at the end of it, it'll say pay with credit card or pay with crypto. Now, if you have any trouble with that pay with crypto, if it doesn't seem to be working, send email to support@GoBabyTrade.com.
Oh, one
Okay?
other thing.
And
Yeah.
we'll get you in right away, because sometimes that Coinbase, it's a Coinbase process that they wrote, and sometimes it'll sit on the screen and it'll say waiting.
Yeah.
You know, but we can, if you send us email, we can flip the processor for you.
One other helpful hint. Thank you, Ed. One other helpful hint for those of you buying with a credit card or major credit card, debit card, whatever, it's a larger purchase. So sometimes your bank is going to decline it, but immediately they send you a text message and or an email, and they're expecting you to look at that and approve it. You could approve it. Like, did you just request the $34.99 charge? And you put yes, and then it'll go through. Okay, but if
Or
you
they'll
don't,
tell you if, or they might tell you, all right, resend it through and we'll
right,
approve it. We'll let it go
right,
through the
or they'll
next
say
time.
now you could go ahead and process it again and it'll go through. But sometimes people don't look at their email or their text right away. So that's why I'm giving you this helpful hint, because we hear that often. Okay.
That's for Russ and your wife getting ready to go live.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Go ahead, Edward.
Congratulations. All right. Um, okay, Anthony, I received my first profit goal reached order canceled indicator today. Can you please explain what this indicator means?
Exactly what I said earlier. The price, remember, the auto trader is adding up all those level 2 orders, and you're trying to say you want to take profit. You're thinking that the price you're seeing is the best price. But the thing is, based on the number of shares you're trading, you're not going to get filled at that price because there's not enough shares offered up at that price. That's where the fake orders come in. There's a lot of people, and I don't want to call them criminals, but that's how they trade. They put fake order or small volume in there, and then you think that's the best price. Then you go ahead and throw an order out there and say, I want to buy this many. Well, or I want to sell. And the price, if you're selling, it's going to drop all the way down to here, and you're going to end up selling at a loss. Software sees that and says, you know what, cancel that order. And because the coin's crashing. At the time you said you want to sell it and take that profit, it's not up here anymore. By then, other people already sold their coins at that somebody, because there's a million people trying to buy and sell at every minute. So, you know, that's gone and the price is now down here, so the auto trader says cancel that. Because I'm not gonna leave that limit order sitting at the broker. We'll send the limit order and say, I want to get filled at this price, but if it runs away from the price, the broker or the exchange will leave it sitting out there in public view. Now all the professional traders are eating us alive. They see your order, they're never going to let it go to your price. They're going to keep selling theirs right below you. So we cancel the order and get it out of there. The auto trader is tracking the orders internally. We don't leave orders sitting at there. That's why you'll see a cancel order sometimes.
Okay, excellent. David, can there be a clock on the trader screen as being in the UK and seeing the timestamp in the order? I
No.
can't equate to how recently the trade was placed.
You know, I know you're 8 hours ahead of me.
Nope, 6.
Pardon
6
me?
or 5. Oh, no. You're right. You're not here. You're correct.
He's 9 hours.
That's
Nine
right.
hours.
So, you know, it isn't as easy as you think because everybody's in different time zones all over the place. And that's the actual time based on New York time that the auto trader submitted the order.
Hey,
And
Edward.
it
Yes, sir.
is, I'm sorry, that's the way it is. And
Ed,
yeah, and then every night at midnight, according to New York time, New York midnight, all the auto traders go off and then go back on. And they pick up any code changes, any improvements I made overnight. Plus, it switches all the numbers to the next day. So it knows, like, what is
okay.
yesterday's close? Boom. It knows what yesterday's close is.
Got it.
Edward,
Yes.
let me ask. Lynn's got 4 questions. 2 of them are for
Oh,
Ed.
Lynn was putting the kids to bed right now. What's going on?
I'm going to answer 2 of Lynn's questions, and then Ed, you're going to have to answer the other 2.
All
Can
right.
this be, so she's asking, can this be treated as an annuity into the future to pay out an income over time without touching principal investment? Well, yes, but that has
I don't.
nothing to do with the trader. Your money's, when you save your profits, Lynn, guess where it's going? To your own Coinbase exchange or Kraken. So if you leave it in USDC, that's up to you to pay yourself out over time as you wish. That's your call.
Right. Right.
That has nothing to do with the trader. Number 2 question I'm going to answer. What percentage does the house keep when profits are made? Nothing. You pay
You don't keep
$34.99
anything.
for a 3-year license. Ed Barsano does not keep anything of your profits. They're 100% yours. Okay.
You know,
Now,
and then when the exchange charges fees and the software tracks it. So if your profit goal is 3% and the software sees that the broker or the exchange is going to charge like a 0.5% or something, whatever, they tell us what they're going to charge for that trade. We actually add that to the profit goal. so that the software makes the 3.5%. So it's, and then they take their fee out of that and you still made your 3%. The number you see on the screen, the profit taken, is after the fees are already taken out. So it's almost turnkey. It's almost like you're not even paying fees, because the software is just
Okay,
making the profit.
right.
It's making the profit pay the fee.
Right.
So here's the two questions you need to answer, Ed. I'll read them both to you because it's easy. The first one is, how do you train the AI trading bots to use technical analysis? And do you also include fundamental analysis? That's the first
You mean
question.
fundamental analysis, like earnings per year and that kind of baloney? We don't look at any of that. We don't look at any fundamental data at all. The AI has the 27 indicators, the top 27 indicators in it, like, you know, stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, here, you know, all different ones. 27 indicators. People used to do that stuff manually. You sit in front of screens, you got all these charts, and you're kind of looking for, if you take a broad perspective, an aerial view where you sit back and you kind of can see where all the indicators are going, you know, visually and all. We don't need to do any of that anymore. I don't need to look at that stuff. That's all in the AI. That's pattern recognition. When things are all moving, the amazing, the coolest thing about AI is you can't even visually see what it sees. It could say, I'm 98% sure this coin's going to go higher, and you're looking at those indicators going, I don't see it, because it's assigning each indicator percent values. It's like if it, those of you who ever been to a horse race, I've mentioned this before. If you're a horse in the horse races, some run good in a muddy field and some don't. Some can't run in the mud. But a good mudder, a good horse that wins every race that he runs in the mud, he likes the mud. So if you're looking at a racing form and or today one of your indicators might be, is it raining outside? Well, that's a big deal for a horse that runs in the mud. He knows how to run in the mud and the rain. Another one doesn't. So it's how valuable is each indicator. So the software actually, the AI actually assigns a percentage. It might, if it saw something like, is it raining outside? It might say, well, I'm going to apply 1% or maybe even 0% to that indicator, like it's a useless indicator. It doesn't care.
Yeah, awesome.
So, but it
Well,
might say here, based on this indicator, I'm going to assign this one 100% value in its place. And so it does crazy math. It would blow your mind to look at that stuff. I don't even like, I mean, I programmed it.
okay, Ed, let's
But
not
I don't want to look at it.
let's not blow anybody's mind. Let's just
No, you can't,
Yeah.
I've been doing AI
Where's-
since 1989. I know how it works, the intimacy. I don't use any of the new tools. My son is an AI developer also. He uses all the new stuff out there for when he's doing his AI, all the new tools that are out there for doing AI. I'm still old fashioned. I still write my own.
Speaking of your son, her last question is, and she verbalizes this so nicely. I'm going to be a little bit more straightforward. She's talking about what's your succession plan in case something happens to you. So in other words,
All right. Well, I want to be buried in one of those old fashioned graves. What? You know, So the Doc Holliday caskets, those kind of things. I think that would be cool. You don't need to bury me in a Rolls Royce, thank you.
Yep. So
And no
Attila,
socks. I don't want any socks on when I'm in my casket. All right.
Attila, read her whole question so that Ed can frame it in reference.
yeah, where is the multi-generational succession plan available to see for the public? I would like to learn more about the plans you all have for the future. 25 years in the past is impressive that you've been around that long. However, going forward, it's imperative to understand the succession plan. Please, thank you.
See, I don't look like I'm going to make it another 25. Is that what you're saying?
Is
Well, I
your
know you're not
complexion?
planning on retiring, that's for sure.
I'll never retire. You don't conquer the market and then quit doing it. No way. I've conquered the market, and millions and millions and millions of people are still in denial. And as long as they stay in denial, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep shoving it down their throat. And because I love proving everybody wrong. You know it. I'm not the only one. A lot of you are the same way. When somebody says that can't be done, you try extra hard.
Yep.
And what I found, what I discovered when people were saying it couldn't be done all the way back in 2000 and 2001, when people were saying that can't be done, that can't be done, that can't be done, I proved that it can be done. And when basically everybody out there was saying it can't be done. You know, you have to have what I call managerial courage or whatever. You know, you have to be willing to be the abstainer, the one guy in a room that'll say, no, I don't agree with you. You know, I don't agree with any of you. You're all wrong. You think that's easy to be that way? And those of you who know, that's tough. Y'all want to see you go into a meeting room with 12 other people and everybody is saying that that guy's guilty. Yeah, that sounds like a jury. And you're the one saying, no, he's not. That's a tough thing to be in. It's a hard place to be, but I've lived it. I've done it. I did it at Microsoft. I did it in nuclear engineering for the government. I did it for 8 years in the Navy. And I'm going to tell you, you know, if you know you're right, you know you're right. And then
So
you
what happens to you?
right.
What happens to you? That's the.
I'm never gonna stop doing this. And my son has been doing this now. He has a biochem degree. He's well educated and he's a genius. He's smarter than me, I have to say. He programs with all the new tools, the new development tools and stuff like that. I don't use any of that. I'm still a 1980s, 1990s programmer, but I do it all from the ground up. When I open a file, I don't call open file. I call Ed's open file function. You know, I'm still into the linked list era programmer. You know, I call my own functions, my own function libraries. I know nobody can hack me. I know everything that's going on, but he will take over this whole system. He's been doing it for 15 years, and he programs it. He programs all day. Right this minute, he's in there working on a nice support system. You're gonna really like it, where you can ask questions and the answers will just be there instead of waiting for me to answer everything. Then at the bottom of that, if it didn't give you the answer you want, you could say push one button and say submit that to support. Boom. I didn't get the answer I was looking for.
Cool.
Boom. You're gonna like that. It's really cool. And he's programming all that stuff from the ground up from scratch. You know, he's not using anybody else's anything, you know. So I mean, he'll take over this whole system. He already does everything. Everything I do, he does. And he could take it all over, and he's gonna take it all over, you know. And so we're never gonna stop doing this. Ever.
Yep.
And these auto traders will never go away.
So Ed, she's
by the way,
provided some clarification, right? I think you guys misunderstand the intention. So here's the answer, and you hit it nail on the head, Lynn, is that the trader only connects to your Coinbase or Kraken account, only has the authority to send buy and sell orders, period. The end. It all stays in your Coinbase or Kraken account. All the money stays there. You have full control over it. So as long as you have your Coinbase account properly secured, which GoBabyTrade helps you with as well to make sure all the settings are there, then you're 100% safe. The mechanism of the trader will continue infinitely. Steven's going to have kids. They're going to have kids.
I mean, hey, my grandkids are all into this stuff. All my kids know how to program, by the way. You know, I taught them that stuff since I was they were babies when I was at Microsoft. So, and they all know how to do everything. My daughter's a lawyer, and even in her law firm in DC, they tell her, "Why are you a lawyer and not a programmer?" Because she knows she blows their minds, man. And because she knows these computers better than the developers that they bring in to do stuff. So, this is never going to go away. The whole thing is never going to stop.
No. So, Linda, to address your last one of your last points, about putting large amounts of money in, right? Again, it stays in your Coinbase, so you control that. But there is a limit. Mr. Barsano, because he wants it to be accessible to the everyday person.
There's reasons. There's actually two reasons for that. One is I didn't create this for the multi-millionaires, all right? I mean, I have people with $1.6 million accounts. I think one guy, he's got two of them, two $1.6 million accounts. Another guy with $1 million account and a $1.2 million account, and a whole bunch of other ones that have 900 or a mil five and only one account instead of two, but I don't really keep track of all that, so I mean, I don't even know where they're at. Somebody might have five accounts with $1.5 million in each one. But there's also, so there's that. But then there's also, you don't want the shares, the trade sizes to get too big also, because then, it's harder to get filled with a big giant order that, when you're sending too much at one time. So I like the 2 million mark. That's the sweet spot. And like a guy with $10 million, I remember he got mad at me, when he first came on board over a year ago. And he said, why do I have to buy five accounts? Why can't you just raise the limit to 10 million? I said, no. My answer to that was, I didn't create this for you. I didn't create this for multimillionaires. I created this for everyday people. I consider myself an everyday people, I'm from the inner city of Chicago. I wasn't always born rich, all right? I got lucky at Microsoft. I didn't realize they would pay you over $1 million a year. I was happy to get my salary. And then when they handed me that first $1 million worth of stock, I'm like, whoa, I did not know you could make money like this. I mean, that was a surprise to me too. So I'm just a regular person, and I don't walk around acting like I'm Donald Trump. I mean, he's kind of arrogant, but he's so right so many times. So I guess you get arrogant when you know you're right. All right. I can relate because I know I'm right, and everybody can tell me I'm wrong. That's okay. I'm happy with the handful of people the few thousand people using my traders that are telling me I'm right. I'm like, thank you. I'm good with that. I don't need 100 million users. If they want to come, I'm here to help. If they don't want to come, good luck. God
By
bless
the
you.
way, yep.
Wish you the best.
By the way, folks, just for Lynn and everybody else that's on the call tonight, you could, if you want to put a large amount of money in here eventually, you could start small. If you want to put a couple $100,000 in, go live with $20,000. Believe me, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're
You'll
going
be
to be
putting
like,
it all in. You'll be
you're
putting it all in.
yeah. I mean, it's just such a no-brainer. And when you do add more money, here's the beautiful thing. Let's say you start with 20.
Uh-oh. We lost him. All right.
Oh,
So
I can
he's
finish.
And
I
you add
can
another
finish what he was.
180,000 and
okay. We
add it to
lost
your
you for 10.
Coinbase.
We
Yeah.
lost you for 10 seconds.
Yeah, you got to
Man,
start.
oh
You
man.
got to stay
I
there.
don't know what's going on with my internet tonight. I'm overseas, folks, so my apologies. What I was saying was the beautiful thing, if you add money to the trader, you don't, I mean, I'm sorry, you add money to your Coinbase or Kraken, you don't need to even let the trader know. It picks it up. It knows you've added money. It's that
Right.
simple. It really is. Yeah.
And
Go
some
ahead.
people
You
put
got it.
monthly, some people add money every month, $100 or $200 a month to their trader. So I know someone that started with $500 and he was throwing $100 a month in his trader for the last few years. He's over 5,000, and he was just throwing 100 a month into his account every month, and he was just letting it build up.
Oh,
Till then, some
almost as good as
people
a
feel like
savings
they're
bond.
broke. Some people feel like they're broke if they only have $500 to trade with. You pay $3,500 for software, and then you start with 500. You feel like, the equilibrium isn't there. But in reality, I don't care if you ran this thing in paper trade mode for a year. You can't pay for the knowledge it's going to give you watching it trade and realizing this is free money for life. Then you can spend the next 5 years trying to find money to throw into it, because this
Bingo.
is the
Yeah.
gold
Okay,
machine
Edward,
forever.
we
It's
got to
just
move
going to
on with the
keep taking.
questions.
Yep. We were running at a good pace, but we only have 10 more questions left. Can you go into detail about transferring funds into Coinbase via debit? So I
Let me,
can
I don't know what
address
that
that.
is.
So, well, I can address it. So, for example, I've got both a debit card and my bank account, ACH, that allows me debit card is much lower limit. ACH from my bank is much higher limit, and it's simply that. So this is what I do. You don't have to do this. Is I use my debit card until I hit the limit for the month, and then I use my bank account. And then when I do it, I put it in USDC. because that's crypto. Put it in
I
crypto.
hear it pays 4.5% interest now at Coinbase.
Yep, I was going to touch on that. So they pay you interest while it sits there, but or you can put it in USD. Now in Kraken, you only have that one choice, USD. So it's a US dollar trading in and out of the crypto market. So do yourself a favor, put it in USDC. When you put it in, the trader, as Attila just talked about, the trader automatically picks it up. It doesn't. It all it looks for is the USDC. Now here's a don't fall in this hole. Only have money in USD in Coinbase. Only have money in USD or USDC, not both. Okay, put it in USDC. Do yourself a favor. Make your life easy. All you have to do is, as long as your bank knows, and if it declines a transaction using your debit card, then call them and say, who are you to tell me what to do with my money?
No, you can't. It's not always that easy.
Well, it's not always that easy, but guess what? Now that we're moving into the new digital revolution, the banks are going, whoop, we're way behind. Guess what? Guess who's going to be issuing all their own stable coins?
Hey, Edward.
Yep.
Edward, more. There's one more way to get money into your Coinbase. You could always wire money in. You could wire US. You could wire USD in, and once you have USD there, you buy the USDC with it. Okay. So let's move on.
Yep, you can just convert it. You don't have to buy it, right? So, Walter, what is the downside of changing the setting to 2% buy and sell? The trader will be smaller. The trades will be smaller dollars, but the AI kicks in on it and runs it up and won't and still collect maximum profit.
Right. Well, sometimes the AI will catch it. You know, someone pointed out to me the other day that Bonk was running that day a lot up. But what he didn't know, he was saying, how come my auto trader was selling each one of those at 3 or 5%? Why couldn't he just hold it until it went up that whole 30% that day? Hold all of it. I said, well, if you looked at your trades in your filled orders on the lower right of your trader, you'll notice that each of those closed trades were an hour apart. So it wasn't just going up like you thought it was. It was actually going up, and it was going down, and then it was going up more. So when it was going down, the auto trader sold what it had here that was profitable, and then the coin went higher, and then the next one that was profitable, it started selling as it was going higher. It was selling those things off, but the market wasn't just going straight up 30%. Now a lot of times the market does jump around like that. If the market jumped 30% higher instantly, all those positions that you owned below it would have all sold 30% higher. But it didn't happen that way. So it was selling off the smaller, the lower lots earlier before, because it wasn't going straight up. It was pulling back, and that caused the thing, because the auto trader is not going to let profit go away. If it's going away, then we got to sell it now and take the profit.
What about the 2%, Ed? What about the 2% part of this question?
All right, the 2% question. The thing is, we were running at 2% for 3 years after the crypto summit, the crypto crash of 21, and we raised it on November 4th to 3% because the coins started moving a lot. You can see right now, like you saw today, these coins were down 8 and 9% today. That's a big move. They'll also go up like that, 8 and 9% up. And if you're closing your positions at 2% profits, then you're missing a lot of run. So the coins are starting to move 5% a day up and down a lot. So, and I wouldn't set it at 5 because I'm afraid I'm going to miss the 3, and the 4, and the 4.5% moves and stuff like that. So 3% is still the sweet spot. If you lower the percent to 2%, if you're going to add on 2% drops and take 2% profits, look at the very bottom number on the edit strategy page or the select currency page. The very bottom number, your trading window. If you're adding on 3% drops for 25 lots, that's that bottom number. 3 times 25, it covers you down to a 75% drop in the coin. That means you can trade no matter where, just like the bucket in the well. You can trade it in perpetuity as long as that coin stays within that 75% window. If you shrink it to 2%, 2 times 25 is going to it's going to shrink your trading window to a 50% trading window. Be careful. Coins dropped 50% just last month. They can drop 50%. And then if you even, now 2 times 25 lots, 2% drops times 25 lots, that gives you a 50% trading window. I would not go below that. Don't go 2% drops times 20 lots. Then you got a 40% trading window. I saw somebody the other day with a 30% trading window. I even saw one guy adding on 1% drops with 4 lots deep. He had a 4% trading window. Let me tell you something. When he did that, I called him up right away and said, "Stop. You don't know what you're doing, man." Because that coin's going to drop 4% in one day, and all your money is going to be squeezed into that 4% window. And luckily he put his default settings back to 25 lots and changed it to 3% drops, because that coin did drop 5% a few minutes later, and he would have been all in up here at the top. And then when the coins drop, you're just a buy and holder. The coins are going up and down, but you're running out of money up here. A 75% trading window is not gambling, is a lot less. I don't call it gambling. The software automatically is very conservative. When things are going down, it actually slows down the buy-in when the market's going the wrong way. But when the market's going the right way, it gets very aggressive, and it starts really adding higher up and adding to winners, and it starts riding that market higher and it starts to buy and sell a lot more. But when things are going down, it's very conservative. Some people say, well, what happens when the market gets bullish? What do we need to change and all? Nothing. You don't have to change anything, man. This is 25 years of development. Let the auto trader do what it does. It knows when to speed up. It knows when to slow down. And it knows how many shares to trade whenever it's trading.
Yep.
I'll just end that. I'll just put a cherry on top of that and say that if you like to get punished or you're a masochist, go ahead and change the settings.
Be careful. A lot of people may be masochists.
Yeah. Well,
that's a joke. That's a joke. Yeah. Attila's frozen.
If you want to have a happy life and just don't touch the settings, folks, trust me, this is 25 years of track record and history. We know of what we speak and what we suggest.
Right.
If you want to just be successful and have the trader be successful for you, leave the settings alone.
The software does not short. Shorting the crypto market is a dangerous, triple 100 times dangerous. A coin can only go. If you're shorting, you're betting that a coin is going to go down. Okay? The problem is, if that coin turns around and goes up, it has unlimited upside. You're gonna just end up selling at a huge loss. You're gonna end up closing that short at a big, huge loss when this market runs. As opposed to if you're going long, which is you want the coin to go higher, the worst that it could do is go to zero. That's a 100% drop. Number-wise, don't look at it like, oh, that means I lost everything. No, it means you only lost what you had in the market. You're not losing all the profits you already took. But the worst that it could do is only 100% drop. Mathematically, that's nothing. It's infinitesimal, that number. 100% drop versus the potential of 10,000% up. So you have all the potential on the good side if you're going long, wanting the coin to go up. If you're shorting, you're going to get hammered. We do not short. It's not built into the software. We add to losers. We want it to go up. When I buy it, even though the coin's going lower, we're buying more at lower prices, because that's where you're going to really get wealthy, when those coins go up. Next question.
Okay. All right. So, Russ, we didn't forget about you. We're all good. Russ says, can you tell me more about all that goes into the account value here on the trader and on Coinbase? Ed.
The account value is it's all at Coinbase for starters. Nothing's in GoBabyTrade. Okay. However, GoBabyTrade can't see everything you have in your Coinbase account. If you're in Coinbase, you might have different portfolios, which means we can only see the portfolio that API is talking to. You could have 5 portfolios and 5 separate auto traders pointing to each different portfolio. So we can only see the default portfolio or the specific portfolio that the auto trader is pointing to. But all your cash and your coins are sitting in Coinbase. GoBabyTrade is holding nothing. We have no access to it even. We can see it. That's all we can do. And the orders go to the exchange and they fill the orders. So it's whatever the value of your coins are. Your account value based on what we can see is whatever your coins are, the value of your coins at this instant in time plus the value of your cash, USD and USDC. That's it. That's what your account value is. That's all we can see. Sometimes they don't match because you have staked coins and stuff like that in your Coinbase account, and they're seeing numbers. They're making numbers look bigger than what we're showing. But all we're doing is what we can calculate. We see the value of the coin right now of all the coins we own, and we see that we do see coins that you have in Kraken or your Coinbase account. We can see what's there. Some of it's staked and we can't see it. But the stuff we do see, we do add it to the account value because we can see that you own it up there even though the auto trader is not trading it.
Right.
So it's the value of all your coins that we can see in Coinbase plus the value of the coins we can see in well, everything in GoBabyTrade we can see in Coinbase. So it's the value of the current value of all your coins in Coinbase plus your USD plus your USDC. And that's your
Excellent.
account value. Very simple. This is baby math, man. This
Good
is like
question. Good
fourth
question.
grade, third grade stuff.
So, Rangini, you must be a fortune teller. So question. Once we reach the so-called crypto bull, top of the so-called crypto bull market, should we close out all the positions at the top when we know that the asset will go down 90%? First of all,
We want it to go down 90%.
first of all, no.
I want to go all the way up there, make all that money, and then start buying it again on 3% drops all the way to the bottom. I'm never going to stop doing an auto trader. This is free money for life until somehow the Fed comes and says you're not allowed to steal this money like this. This is criminal what you're doing. It's not right. I mean, that's the only way this thing's ever going to stop. It's going to be free money till you die.
Right. So truth is that the market, and you know this, market never goes straight up, market never goes straight down. But if you look at what it's done since he released the trader, so let's just look at the 90%. That's already happened, 90% drop. In that 90% drop, he's made almost $1 million on his account. So no, just.
But I made it in small numbers.
But you made it right. You made it $20, $40, $50, $200, $500 as it grew, but it did it all in a down market. I mean, this bull market-ish that we're seeing, this bounce, I don't know whether it's a true bull market, but quite frankly, who cares? There is nothing.
I don't even see it as a bull market. I saw it as a few up days, and the auto trader took advantage of it.
The premise, the premise of the question is nothing personal, sir. But the premise of the question is a little bit faulty because you're asking that as if you would know when the top of the market's going to be.
Oh yeah, good.
That's why.
Because your auto trader's always buying and selling, even if it goes all the way up to the top and above the top, you're still going to be buying and selling. And you're not. And tell me, by the time that market goes all the way up there, you're going to want to really be doubling up and tripling up. If you made all that money with a small amount of money, and now you got a big amount of money, and you're looking, I mean, I'm telling you, I got people that take thousands of dollars a day out of the market with their accounts. The larger the account, the more money it makes. You're not going to want to turn it off. You're going to want to feed it more money.
Right.
Well, that's why you're going to be in feed it more money mode. You're not going to be wanting to just pull the plug on it. And if you did, okay, you could do that too. Either way,
you'll get there. Well, that's why with Regini's question, that's why I came out of the gate. You must be a fortune teller. If you can tell us when the top of the market is, please call us. So,
because if you know that, you'll be richer than Warren Buffett.
Right. In a down market or an up market, as you've seen, as we talked about, 90% down since Mr. Barsano released the trader. How can you argue with turning 200,000 into $1 million in a 90% down market?
Here's a very important aspect here that I like. I like to, when I talk, I like everybody to understand the picture. When you place an order, if you in the real world without GoBabyTrade, or even with GoBabyTrade, if you do it manually, in your mind you're thinking it's going to go up, it's going to go up. That's what you're thinking. The auto trader is the opposite. The auto trader, when it places an order, it says to itself, it's going to go down, and it's not going to go down a little, it's going to drop 75%. That auto trader, every time it places an order, it tells itself this market's going to crash big time right now after I buy that coin. The software is all about protection and risk management. So it's not gambling at all. It's the opposite of a human being that places an order thinking it's going to go up. If you go to a store and you buy a silver dollar at a coin store, in your mind, that silver dollar is going to go up in value. The auto trader thinks the opposite. It's going to go down. It's he who knows how to manage a loser will be a winner. The people who don't know how to manage losers and they think I want to buy something and it's going to go straight up, they're the ones that get slaughtered because they're all in up there. Coin goes down here. It's making thousands of trades down here, like the coins in your drawer. That silver dollar's just sitting there doing nothing. Would liquidate that. We should get off this show here so people have time to run down to their coin store right now and get rid of all that garbage silver they're sitting on.
They'll have time. So let me jump to an easy question. Gray, there is speculation that there will be a bull run in Q4. Would that be a good or bad time to start with GoBabyTrade?
No,
Yeah, listen,
now's
hold
the
on,
time.
hold
Get
on.
in now while it's low.
I got this one. I got this one. This one's easy. Get in GoBabyTrade as fast as you can. Don't worry about a good market or a bad market. As long as there's volatility, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. This trader eats volatility. It eats volatility. It doesn't miss a chance to take a profit.
Well, some people wait until the market is going up in a bull market and they don't realize there's no money in that. You've already missed it. What you needed to be doing, if you know the bull market, if somehow you have a crystal ball, frankly, I don't pay attention to seasons and all the baloney. I don't listen to anything anybody says. You know why? Because if you read that on the internet somewhere where somebody said the market's going to go up 1,000% by next month or in a few months, then you have to ask them a question. If they really truly believe that that statement was real, did they mortgage their house? Are they right now putting every single dollar they have into loading up on these coins at these ridiculously low prices? Are they really going all in? Or are they just blowing smoke out there and you're going to gamble your money on somebody's guess? Because if they don't really believe it themselves, then why even follow their advice? But you really don't want to wait till the market's already up there. You've missed the boat. You want to load up at the bottom now. I'm hoping we get a big crash before December. I want to see blood in the streets. I want to see people dumping every share of I want the masses to just sell like crazy because I want this market to go all the way down to nothing. And I want to load up. My auto traders are going to load up at the bottom. And when that market runs up there, we're going to make millions. And the wealthy know this already because they already know Trump's getting rid of all the rules, the regulations that are holding the market back. They're looking for the mother of all paydays. There's never going to be another payday like what's on its way. So now's the time to get your auto trader turned on so it can start buying at these ridiculously low prices. They're not going to sit here forever at 2 cents and 8 cents. These coins are going to go to $20 a share. Now's the time to load up. This is when wealth is made. Wealth is made at the bottom, not at the top. You go in at the top, you already missed it.
Yep.
By the way, completely opposite of what you've been taught in school. Anything about money that you've ever been taught, go back and reanalyze what you've been taught. It's all backwards.
Next question.
It's all designed to make the rich richer and keep you putting your money in mutual funds. And you know, mutual funds are full of coins or stocks that aren't even moving. Most of the coins sitting in a mutual fund, they won't even move a quarter a day on a quarter a day up and down. They're useless, most of the coins. That's why mutual funds just don't make any money. If they even went up 10% a year, you'd go, oh my God, oh, it was wonderful. Wow, I made 10% in a year. You should be making that every month standing on your head.
Yes. So I'll ask this question, then I'll make a comment. This one's to you, Ed. Please explain. Will's asking. Please explain add to gap. That's a relatively new function.
Well, what happens is, say you buy. I'm going to throw out some fake numbers, fictitious numbers. Say you bought a coin at $10, price drops to 1, and you buy it again. If the price goes up into that $9 gap, if you're only adding to losers, to decliners, then the price has to go below that bottom number and can only add to losers. But what happens if it goes up into that window here, into that no man's land? If you don't buy there, then the price is going up and down, but you're not making any money because there's a huge gap. We fill the gap. What happens is even though your profit goal is 3%, when you buy it at 1 and it's looking for a 3% increase to sell, the software doesn't sell 3% higher because why? Because it adds the fees that they're charging to the trade. So it's really going for a 3.5 and close to 4%. But the software is going to add more on a 3%, on a 3% increase. So you're adding as the price is going higher, you're filling that gap. It doesn't have to go above the high and it doesn't have to go below the low. It can still, it's the equivalent of what I told you about the toll booth, a car. A car comes through and pays the toll, right? Now you think he's done, but now the toll booth runs around it and puts the toll booth in front of it again. Now he's got to pay you again. That's adding to the winner. So if it's the stock, if it's the crypto market, it's the same thing. He already paid the toll here, but now the toll booth reappears here again. You know, he pays the toll, goes by, and then the price went higher, so the toll booth reappeared above it because now you bought more above it, and you got him going both ways. If he tries to go backwards, then we start stacking on pull toll booths in front of him. He can never go forward. He can't go backwards. We got him trapped.
The toll booth is a great explanation. It's a great visual.
Well, another visual, I was talking to someone yesterday. Picture a ladder. You got a ladder with all the prongs, right? Say this was a ladder and you got all the steps on the ladder, right? As you're going higher, as you're walking up the ladder, all the prongs under it are disappearing. So you have no prongs down here. You don't need them because the price is up here. But then but you got all these prongs above you. And then this is all your inventory, those prongs. And if the price goes lower, it starts adding the more prongs down below. So the price can't get away.
Right.
Wherever the price is, you got prongs following it around. Profits, that means profit goals are set everywhere. These toll booths are following the price around. Again, it's criminal. It makes me feel like Simon Bar-Sinister. Edward Bar-Sinister. I feel evil because I know what I'm doing to the market, and I've been doing this 25 years. And I know that as I learned more, I kept trapping the market more and more over those 25 years until I've got it right where I want it. I mean, I got it, man. 25 years of work and turmoil and sweat and all the work and everything that went into it over the 25 years. And now I've reached the promised land. I got an auto trader that's just sitting there cranking out money every day of my life. I'm done with this planet. Everybody hears me say it. I'm at peace with the planet. I mean, I'm done. I'm living in paradise. And I know that they can't do anything to stop it. And I know that the crypto market's getting ready to rocket, man. And we are at the ground floor of the biggest opportunity of our life.
Here's the good news, though. It doesn't have to rocket. All it has to do is keep wiggling.
Yeah, keep giving me free money. But if you ever try to go up, the software's waiting, man.
So June asks, assuming I connect GoBabyTrade to my existing Coinbase account with the existing portfolio balances, do I fund or / allocate a beginning USD balance for the GoBabyTrade trader to work with? So you want to take a stab at that or
yes?
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're ideally, see, the problem with the coins you're sitting on right now is you're what I call top heavy. You already bought all those coins at higher prices. You got all that money tied up there. Now, if the software had it, if you liquidated all that and went to cash, USD or USDC, then the software could divide up that money the way it needs to so it could trade in perpetuity. If you used up all your money at the top, you have no money to trade down here. I've seen people come in with nothing but coins. And I'm like, well, you don't have any money to trade. I can't buy. The software can't buy anything. It doesn't, there's no money in here to trade with, to buy it with. And so you are actually better off liquidating all of it, go to cash and let the software do the money management the way it's supposed to. because the more you have tied up here, the less money it's going to have down here to work with. You know, I saw somebody come on board one time. He had $10,000 worth of USDC to trade with, and he was sitting with $80,000 of Bitcoin. And I asked him, I said, well, what are you going to do with that? What's that Bitcoin for? And, you know, he said, well, I'm holding it for an heirloom for my grandkids. And I'm like, how about giving them a fully functional auto trader for an heirloom? There, now they got something that's going to make money for them for life, instead of just sitting there on something that they're not going to know anything. What can they do with? Who cares how much you're going to give them a piece of gold that all they can do is sell it, and then what? Then they spend it. It's gone. So I think it's much better off being in a trader trading. However, if you're sitting on, so anyways, that guy sold his Bitcoin and he fed the auto trader then the auto trader had $90,000 to work with. He's making a fortune on the Wiggles now. He's trading, no matter where it goes, he's got a big bucket of money to buy and sell with. But Bitcoin, many people are sitting on Bitcoin, as they are XRP, by the way. A lot of people are accumulating XRP. If you want to do that with Bitcoin and XRP, just uncheck the allow sell if you want to just accumulate. I know a lot of people accumulating XRP. They're allowing the auto trader to buy as it wiggles, but they're not letting it sell anything off because they believe XRP is going to be used by all the banks, right? And it's going to become a $3,000 coin, whatever. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But that's what they're all doing.
Well, it's not called allow sell anymore, Ed. So what are they unchecking?
Right. It's called add-on decliners and add-on advancers. That gives you the choice. We needed to put the add-on advancers because of people that want to just sit on coins, because if you bought it down here and it's profitable, the software cannot add to a loser because the price is higher. And you don't want to wait for it. In Bitcoin's case, what it did was it jumped to like 113 at one point. Now it's at 120, but when it went to 113 and then came all the way back down to $99,000 a share, then your high was 113, and it had to go above that to buy more, and it had but they also owned it at 99, so you had to add the winners and you had to fill gaps. You couldn't wait for it to go above 113, and you couldn't wait for it to go below 99, so you had no man's land there. So adding to advancers allows it to add to the gap at a higher price. Fill that gap up. So you're dollar cost averaging properly. It's better than just sitting in Coinbase and every month buying another $100 worth of Bitcoin, because you're adding at the wrong times. Maybe you're buying at the same price you bought it at last month. That's not dollar cost averaging. Doing it properly, you get the most out of your money if you let the auto trader manage that.
Okay, cool. So I've got some bad news.
Time's up.
We're 2.5 minutes away from 3 hours. We've got 8 questions left.
3 hours goes by fast. Some people look at a 3-hour webinar on the internet and they think it's long. It's not.
It's not. It's so informative. It's so helpful. You're putting the tools in people's hands to change their financial life. So we're going to go through a couple real quick. By chance, if we don't get to your question, don't fret. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put while
you're doing that, Edward,
link, but let me bear with me just 1 second. So Abdul has a question about can you get a video explaining how to apply the trader? I'm assuming you're asking. If not, please put it in the chat to clarify. I think you're asking how does it connect. So what I did was I just put the Crypto Casey discount link. Do your own research, as Mr. Attila always says. Do your own research, but when you click on that link, it doesn't commit you to buy it, but it takes you right to the front page, the landing page of GoBabyTrade. And in there's frequently asked questions. There's also videos. In those videos are how do you connect or apply it to both Coinbase, another video for Kraken. And if for some reason you still don't have the answer, then please just send GoBabyTrade support at gobabytrade.com a note, and
you can actually remotely connect right to your computer and help and literally do it for you if you want. Plus the instructions are there. Some people follow them, some ask us to do it. It only
Good.
takes a few minutes. It
Excellent.
only takes a few minutes to help you, but when I'm talking to you, it takes me a long time because I like to talk about life.
Three
You know,
hours and 2 minutes.
I like to talk about the
So,
border and the vaccines and
all
all
right,
kinds of stuff.
Attila, you were interjecting.
Now, just a question came from Lynn earlier about how much Mr. Barsano started his trader with that he had up on the screen, and he starts all his traders with $200,000. So just
Yep,
so
we answered along the way.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
All
And
right,
the first
June.
year, I wasn't 100% up on the first year. While it was going, I mean, the coins were dropping like a rock. And by the time at the end of that year, by January of 23, because I started in December of 21, it it finally overtook the down inventory. The profits taken finally. So I basically broke even after the first year, but it recovered it, that whole 90% drop, all that inventory that was underwater, because the coins are still at the bottom, but yet I've made all that money back already in profits. So profit wise, I was all the way back to where I started after the first year, but I still had all that inventory.
Yep,
And
but if you
then the
zoom
next
out,
few
I mean,
years, it was just off to the races, selling all this inventory off while it was going up and down.
right. As we talked about it several times in different situations and circumstances. But this is a life trader. And if you just use your example, even if it didn't make a whole bunch of money in the first year, isn't it a great 5-year plan in 3 years and change that you've
Well,
almost
it prepped me for
five?
greatness. It
Right.
prepped me for greatness because over the next 3 years, I took the 900,000 of profits.
Right. But if you look at if you zoom out a bit and you look at the entire time you've owned it, 3.5 years, going on 4 years, right? How bad is 5x your money?
No, it's gold. It's gold. It's just,
Yeah.
it's the ultimate bank account. People just throw their money in there and watch it grow. There's nowhere else I know that you can have an account that you can just throw money in and watch it grow.
Yep.
I
Lynn
mean, you
Lynn
can go buy a
says
CD. What is a CD going to pay you? 5% a year, or a mutual fund or a
when you're
bond.
losing 20%, that just means you're only losing 15%.
Yeah, but
So,
you throw all your money in that. All that does is you're tying up your money so the whales, the wealthy can use your money
yep.
and loan it out. They do credit cards and they charge 30% interest on your credit card while you're giving them money for free.
Yep. Hold on a second.
You're
It's not
actually
30%.
loaning your money. It's almost like you're a child. The way I feel it's when I look at how society has been treating us with the banks giving you 1% a year interest while they loan it out in car loans and home loans and they make all this money. Where's my cut? How come
Right.
I'm not getting part of
Well,
that? I'm
like I
loaning you my money to hold and you're giving me nothing in return. It's an
like I
insult to
said
humanity.
very, very early on in our presentation, everything is created. The entire matrix creates it so that you fail, so that you get in debt and you never get out of debt. Period.
Oh,
That's just
30-year
it. It's stacked
mortgage, you pay
against you.
4 times for your house instead of 1 time.
Right.
You're designed to and you're trying to raise your family, and life is short on, in terms of span of lifespans. It's short. We don't have time to play around when we could be living like gods here. We're so wealthy, and there's no reason that we're not. And it's not even hard. That's the thing. All they did is they laid a few traps for us, and we fell for it.
Every
Throwing your
single one
money
of them.
and we're doing what we were doing all those years, wasting all those years. I mean, I dedicated the last 25 years to correct that.
All
Excellent.
right, guys,
June.
listen, we
Yep.
gotta wrap this up. So Edward, I'm gonna tell people the following. If we didn't get to your question, we apologize, but we got to be respectful of people's time as much as we can. Just send it to either support@rctmarketingsystems.com or support@gobabytrade.com. We'll get your questions answered. If you want to change your financial life and automate a portion of your financial life, use the Crypto Casey link. This thing just flat out works, folks. I know this man 13 years. We used to fly in airplanes together, break bed together. I mean, this is a class act. He's the real deal. This thing just flat out works. Just get the darn trader and put it to work for you. You've got the link there in the chat 3 times from Edward. And we're here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to come back and join us like many of you
I don't know.
do.
Isn't it just like the same discussion every week? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, really, we touch on different things. People say I've been to like 5 of your discussions, your Zooms, and they're all different because we do talk about different things. And
We
I'm
do
always
different
looking for different
questions,
ways to
right?
explain it, to get different questions. And, and it's always fun. I live for Wednesdays. I love
Yep.
it.
We
Yeah.
love it too. Lynn, we wanna call you out. Thank you so much for the positive questions and the comments. Very, very excellent for you to join us. Lynn says, great job. Thank you guys for sharing. This is brilliant work. God bless you. So thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Please join us again. It's the same link that you use to register is a static link, but we ask you to register every week so that we can monitor and make sure that we've got enough space in the Zoom to accommodate everybody. We never want to leave you out. We love you. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. We've got great things coming. Ed kind of leaked out. There's going to be some additions and enhancements to the support. So with that, thank you again so much, Attila. Enjoy yourself while you're in Europe.
Yep.
And what allows you to be over there? I think it's probably partially because you have a GoBabyTrade account, Mr.
Because he's
Barsano.
rich.
Absolutely.
I bet he
Absolutely.
flies first class everywhere he goes.
No, private jet, man. Private jet.
Well,
You can't fly. You can't own a trader and fly anything but private, right? Mr. Barsano, thank you so much. It's always great to see you. Can't
Go
wait to see you
Navy.
again next week. Attila, everybody out there, God bless.
yep.
Stay safe. Join us next week. Be on the lookout for the replay. And if you some reason don't get it, Ed, I'll send you the link for the registration. And you can always go to Financial Intelligence, the number 4U on YouTube, and you can see all of the replays. So,
And one last thing, folks, just remember you could only work so hard, so much elbow grease can go into your 24-hour day. Your response, since your money is unemployed with TradFi, they do nothing for us. It's your responsibility and our responsibility to multiply our own money. And there's no better way to do that than with this trader. So the last thing I'll say is go forth and multiply your money with GoBabyTrade.
Go Navy.
Go Navy. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
very good, everybody. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.